Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant, Darian, Landon with you on a Monday afternoon. Plenty to discuss after a busy weekend around the sports world. The Olympics have come to an end. An incredible game yesterday morning between the United States and Canada for the men's gold medal in hockey. The closing ceremonies yesterday afternoon. I didn't watch them. I heard good things from them, but a lot of other things happening over the weekend. The Tigers, they lose again yesterday at home against UAB. We'll discuss a lot about that. The Grizzlies, they had a couple games over the weekend. They're back in action tonight against Sacramento. Another tank off. They weren't able to out-tank the tank of the Jazz on Friday night. Seems like it'll be tough for them to do that again tonight against Sacramento. We'll talk about that a lot this afternoon as well. A little bit of a lineup change to Michael Cole, who usually joins us at 5 o'clock because of a Grizzlies game tonight. He'll be joining us in our next segment. Probably get to an early break here, get to him around 3:25 or so, talk all things Grizzlies. You had Scottie Pippen Jr. In that game Saturday night. Ding, ding. It was fight night out there against the Magic. So a lot to get into. It was a ton of college basketball out there, a lot of NBA as they came back from the All-Star break. So plenty to discuss. But how are you this afternoon, D?
Awesome. The Milano Cortina Olympics are over, and I can resume a normal life.
Yes, things are a little more calm for you over at Channel 5. So that's good.
So the closing, the closing ceremony was in my wheelhouse. That was all mine. So if you watched it, of course, I wasn't in Italy or Cortina to do it, but I put it on television here in the great city of Memphis.
So you watched it though, like you had to obviously watch it if you were working.
I hope my bosses are working.
Okay, that was a bad question.
No. I'm about to answer. I ain't scared of them. I watched it, but I was still working because I had a 5 o'clock and 10 o'clock to do. So I saw it, and I heard the majority. I heard most of it. So from this standpoint, I had a keen ear to it, and all it was about was the pressure's off from the announcers. Sure. I forget. It wasn't Tariq. I forget. I think it was maybe Tara Lipinski. Okay. She's the former, figure skater. But the whole deal with the closing ceremony is time to exhale. He's from Brazil. I'm from Mexico. Ooh, Mexico. Ooh, that's a touchy one right now. Canada, USA. We're all rivals until then, and now it's like, hey, brother, how are you? It's like kind of like the last day of high school. The keep in touches and all of this. I promise I won't get too big for you, man. And now I got my endorsements, and I never speak to you again. But for that time and moment, it was about camaraderie and all that good stuff. Shout out to Norway, leading the way with the medals. So if you don't know the final medal count. Norway finished with 41. USA finished second with 33, and Italy finished with 30 total medals. So good showing by the U.S.
Yeah, no, it definitely was, and it was a lot of fun. Landon, how are you this afternoon?
That's not what we focused on. America won hockey gold, baby.
The golden gold.
Norway sure walked away with the most medals, but hey, USA hockey triumphed on top. And because of that, I am beaming with American pride right now.
No, it was a lot of fun. Did either of y'all wake up and watch the game yesterday morning?
Nope.
I did, but
I caught the very end.
Yeah.
I caught.
I did because I had to be at work. But inside information, friend of the show, Matt Enfield, do you know how he saw the game?
I do not.
Said he was walking his dog.
Oh, okay.
So he's walking his dog, got his phone in one hand, walking the dog in the other, and saw the gold medal game.
Gotta
walk. Say that's how you do it.
Gotta walk your dog. I thought it was a great game. If we're being honest, like if we could just take off our American hats.
I'm proud of you for how you ended up watching the game. Do you know how he watched the game?
Probably.
He had to have a manual alarm clock, from what I understand.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So I'm proud of you for making sure you had your manual alarm clock.
We were talking about how he watched it. He was probably pouting, sad that he went to OT again.
I'm proud of him. He said he knew he wouldn't wake up, so he made sure he got up. I'm proud of him. That's an adult move.
Sure did. And then I went and got coffee, and I watched the entire game from start to finish, and it was phenomenal. I knew they were going to lose the second it went into overtime because that line that Canada was going to use is just unbelievable. And I said, there's no way. After really, again, let's take off our American hats for a second. Canada should have won that game yesterday. Like, we're just being honest. Like, Canada outplayed the United States.
Yeah, but did they?
For most of that game. They did.
He's my hockey guy.
They did. They didn't win, though, which is the great thing. And that's what I care about. I care about who won.
Is the outcome different if Crosby plays?
See, I don't know. I mean, he certainly helps. And he's a phenomenal player.
But he's long enough. He's like LeBron right now, right? Like, for context for people that don't pay attention to hockey.
I think he's more impactful.
Oh, I have his jersey.
That's right. You're a Crosby guy.
I'm a Penguins guy.
Well,
and I
he's a
by association.
Sure.
I'm a Crosby guy.
He's a veteran status. That's kind of what I was meaning. He shouldn't have been leaned on for Canada to win. That was my thing.
No.
Well, Canada had several opportunities to win that game and never put it away. They only have themselves to blame for losing that.
Yeah, I mean, they should have won. Hellebuck was awesome in net.
Where was Connor Bedard? Anybody?
He didn't make the team. They left him at home.
What?
Yep, left him at home. I mean, that's an extremely talented roster. I'm sure for a couple of those guys, they know, hey, this is probably the last Olympics they've got. Connor Bedard, obviously, just getting.
That's why I didn't hear his name. So,
you'll have a ton of Olympic in it. He was not on the team at all. So
I noticed it.
Yeah, no,
I noticed it, but
sure. No, I mean it was one of those where I think a lot of people when they were watching the Olympics were like, wait a minute, I've heard a lot about this Connor Bedard fella. He's Canadian. Where is he? Not on the team, but no, it was a lot of fun. Jack Hughes with the goal. Love Jack Hughes. Was really happy to see him put it in there. And overtime. It was weird because. Like at first, you couldn't really tell that it went in because of where he shot. I mean, it was
Didn't
bottom
go between the legs.
Well, I think it was bottom right corner if I remember correctly. So it was kind of hard to see because the angle where the camera was. And so, like, I was standing up. I was like, it was almost like time froze for a second of like, what just happened? And then you realize everyone starts celebrating, and then you start celebrating because the United States.
I forget the name
awesome.
of the player that got injured the other day by a blade. Do you recall?
I know there was a speed skater.
Oh, there was a speed skater. I knew it was on the ice, but it frightened me. Once we won and they were jumping over the banister.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's so scary to me, dude. Like, that is so scary.
But they all have it down. I mean,
they know they got it down pat. I know from a novice standpoint, you're bringing that leg over. You don't know who's over
here.
That's
the most important. That's the most impressive part to me is how good they are at ice skating
and not hurting each other. With I get cringe, man. Like it's so scary
because I know how bad I am at ice skating. I'm like, man, I don't know how you guys have that much control.
It's really impressive. And so, yeah, no, it was a lot of fun yesterday. It was crazy because a lot of Canadians are complaining. A lot of Americans are rejoicing. But I did see one Canadian that was like, I said everything beautifully and was like, look, it was unfortunate. It was and one thing that I think will go down forever, and it won't go down forever like the Jack Hughes shot did. That 5-on-3 penalty kill. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I mean, they had like a minute and a half where they had the advantage 5-on-3, and they have their best guys out there. United States has 3 guys on the ice defending, and Canada can't find the net. I mean, it was crazy.
Great words to Larry the Cable Guy. You got to get her done.
Yeah.
But one thing that I was intrigued with, the 3-on-3 in overtime.
I hate it. Can't stand
but he's a Pierce. I don't knock him for it. He's the one person I'm not going to – nope.
Hey, it's sudden death. It's overtime.
I like it, dude. It's fast. It opens the floor.
I liked it.
Thank you. Like, not the floor. The
and
ice.
It was a lot of Canadians had a problem with it too.
For real?
All of a sudden. Oh, yeah. They had a
I guess
problem. They had a problem with the whole game.
Novices because it sped it up. Like I said, the ice was wide open. Like you can't double or triple anyone. It's mano y mano, baby. Like you mess up on a position change right then.
Well,
and
anything sudden death, you're on the edge of your seat because the moment something happens. Yeah. Bam. Done.
And the women, shout out to the women too, right?
Shout out to the women.
Yeah. It's gimmicky hockey. There's a reason NHL doesn't do it in the playoffs. It is. I mean, it's 3-on-3. It's super fast. I mean, it's fun. Like, it's cool to watch. But, like,
it's the NBA All-Star game having 2 USA teams and 1 world team.
I could argue that it might not be the best way to determine a gold medal.
Correct, but as far as attention span and novices watching it, I think people watched it.
I mean, it was. I heard
some people like you hate it.
I'm saying all this stuff because
you get it.
When throughout the game, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, cheering my rear end off for the Americans. When they scored the goal, I am jumping around like an insane person inside my girlfriend's apartment, so much where she's telling me to calm down because I'm scaring her dog. And then for the next hour, I'm just pacing around her living room because I can't sit down because I'm so amped up that the United States just won. So I'm saying all this, and it might sound like, man, Bryant really hates that that Canada lost yesterday and that the Americans won. No, that couldn't be further from the truth. And then afterwards, the fact that they brought out Johnny Gaudreau, they had a jersey for Johnny Gaudreau, who unfortunately passed away, would have been on this hockey team. To have that jersey out there, sweater, excuse me, to skate it around, to really honor him after that, and then on top of all that, to bring his children down for the team picture, hit me in the heart.
There you go.
I mean, I was a wreck when I saw that, because that was just really beautiful stuff. His parents were there, his wife was there. Just really cool to see them get that win, and then the way they honored Johnny Gaudreau. But how about this? And then we'll move on to some more important things for the city of Memphis. But I was reading this earlier over on The Athletic. The Athletic has a reporter that I guess covers like amateur youth hockey. I mean, it's probably just hockey in general, but he does like scouting and amateur hockey and different things like that. In 2011, his name is Craig Custance. He tweeted in 2011, he quote tweeted, I guess I'll start from backwards and work my way. USA Hockey posted a tweet in 2011 that said USA's Hockey 8 and under membership has reached 100,000 for the first time ever. So a lot of people signing up for 8 and under hockey in the United States in 2011. Craig Custance quote tweeted it and said, "Look out, 2026 Olympics." Here we are in 2026, and U.S. men's and women both with gold medals at the Olympics in Italy. So a lot of fun there. Really, I mean, honestly, these last couple of weeks, just watching the Olympics, is one of those things where we have so much fun watching it, and then we're never going to watch some of these events until the next time we have a Winter Olympics. But it is just so much fun to watch these events.
Sitting in this very seat, I became a curling fan.
Sure. So. I mean, curling, some of these snowboarding, skiing events, obviously the hockey everyone was locked into, but to watch these events, to hear the stories of these competitors, just I thought a really fun last couple of weeks with the Winter Olympics. And now in a couple of weeks, really, if you want to continue riding the international wave, in a little more than a week, we'll have the WBC, the World Baseball Classic, which will be all these different countries playing baseball against each other, including Team USA, which is loaded this year. And then, not too much longer, in a couple years, we'll have the Summer Olympics here in America.
Los Angeles.
That will be a lot.
Winter
of
Olympics in Utah. You guys interested in going? Just early returns.
When is it?
France has it next, so I believe we're after France.
So that'd be 2030, right? And so that would mean 2034.
I believe so.
Okay.
Would you take a trip to Utah to catch you some winter games?
I'd
would you be down?
Oh, yeah.
Now I wouldn't do it out of the country. Like I guess Italy was cool, but I mean you could get lost in the sauce over there.
Sure.
But if you're gonna have it over here, I'd be down.
Yeah,
I go to Salt Lake and catch some figure skating or some luge.
We were talking
curling
a couple weeks ago. I'd go curling, absolutely. Supposedly, and I need to look this up, but Brett said it, and so I believe him. In 2028, in the Summer Olympics, the two events, like softball and maybe one other event, but at least softball, I believe, is going to be in Oklahoma City instead of in Los Angeles.
Why?
Oklahoma City has like an unbelievable softball.
If you know the history of Oklahoma girls,
they've got supposedly they have a really nice facility and complex. But that's not in Oklahoma City. I mean, that would be in Norman. So I don't know. I'm guessing Oklahoma City has a really nice complex that they can use or something. That's just what he said. If they have some sort, I don't care what it is. Yeah. If there's some sort of Olympic event in Oklahoma City in 2028, oh my gosh.
6-hour drive, dog.
I'll be there.
6-hour drive, not bad at all.
I'll be there.
Just like going to New Orleans.
And no matter what you do, no matter what you get into, during, before, after the Olympics, it's going to be cheaper than whatever you get into in LA. So I mean,
totally.
If that is true, I'm making a trip to Oklahoma City.
They'll spike that price, though.
Sure, but I'm sure I could.
So when you're in your hotel room, you see price can be up to $1,000. That's what it's for.
I have a buddy that lives in Oklahoma City. I'm sure I could
Oh, you
crash
do,
on his
don't
couch.
you?
Yeah, so I'm sure I could.
Bradley.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah, I'm
Bradley.
sure I could. I'm sure I could
Forget
crash
about
on his couch, maybe. But we do have a busy show today. Getting out of this segment a little bit early, we're going to talk to DeMichael Cole in our next segment. So let me go ahead and set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. Like I mentioned, here about 10, 15 minutes or so, DeMichael Cole from the Commercial Appeal. He'll join us to talk Grizzlies. A lot to get to with the Grizzlies. 2 games over the weekend, including Saturday night, where Scottie Pippen Jr. was ejected for fighting. Only a fine handed down by the NBA, so no missed games for him. Friday night, you had the return of Jaren Jackson Jr. They had a tribute for all the guys during that game, but Jaren Jackson Jr. with a separate tribute than Vince and that's right. No, he definitely should. Jitty and Vince, theirs was together, which makes a lot of sense. So plenty to talk to with DeMichael. They're also in action tonight against Sacramento. Another tank off between the Grizzlies and the Kings. So we'll do that in our next segment. 3:45. We'll talk some more basketball. Maybe talk a little more Grizzlies in that segment with that game tonight. Some NBA news coming out, kind of all over the place. We'll do that at 3:45. 4 o'clock. David Cobb from CBS Sports. He'll join us talk college basketball and college football. There'll be a lot of college basketball talk this afternoon with David Cobb. 4:30, we'll stick with the college hoops. Dave Amon, bracket guy Dave, he'll join us, talk some bracketology as we will talk a lot about his bracket. I know we've talked to him the last couple of weeks. He's updating right now Tuesdays and Fridays, so his bracket over at Bracketville will be a little different, but we'll certainly get his thoughts on everything that happened over the weekend. 4:45, we'll get the big number of the day. 5 o'clock, we'll talk a ton of Tiger basketball. We'll, I'm sure, both get to it in top and not top story, but 5 o'clock, instead of talking to DeMichael Cole, it will be all things Tigers after that loss yesterday against UAB. 5:30, we'll talk about what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Mo's Crunch Time. Doug texted in. You can text in just like Doug at our Sissy's Log Cabin listener line, 901-360-8255. Would love to hear from anybody and everybody throughout our show. Doug texted in and said, Oklahoma City is home of the Women's College World Series. So kind of like Omaha with the men's side, they have it with softball in Oklahoma City. So I'm assuming a really nice location there in Oklahoma City. He said, I went to Vancouver 2010 Olympics and saw my niece win a bronze. Holy cow. Shout out Doug's niece. That's awesome.
History of it.
That is awesome. If I knew somebody that won a medal in the Olympics, you wouldn't be able to tell me anything. Like even though it wasn't me, you would not be able to tell me anything.
I guarantee you've interviewed someone. You know someone.
Do I?
I would have to think.
I mean, I'm
just
sure.
doing your profession. Yeah,
no, I'm just saying if I was related to somebody.
Okay.
If we were having an argument right now. Yeah. My niece won a did your niece win an Olympic medal?
Niece winning.
I mean, yeah, I would be unhinged if I was related to somebody that won an Olympic medal. So
can't come back from that. Your niece won an Olympic.
No, I mean, how are you going to argue that?
Unless you're John Harden, and you say, Mo, no, that's Olympic. I was going to say my daughter is a national champion, but nope, Olympic.
Trumps national championship. I'm sorry. So
he's probably listening on the way home. Hey, John.
Hey, John. Shout out Doug's niece. That is really cool. But let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. The floor model spa sale is going on right now at Family Leisure. It's time to make room. Deep discounts on over 100 display models and in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, and cold plunges. If you've been dreaming about that new spa, well, now is the time to buy. Spas as low as $99 a month and over $1,000 in free upgrades with every spa purchased. $8,000 spas only $159 a month with free LED lights and a waterfall available on most models. So head out there to Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And a reminder that this first hour brought to you each and every afternoon by our friends over at Lexus of Memphis. Brett tells you all the time about the great deals and the great vehicles they have on the lot at Lexus of Memphis. Head out there and get in that new ride. They've got a great team that can help you with any questions, any concerns, anything you might have on these vehicles. But head out there this week. I know it's a little chilly today, but going to warm up and be perfect time to go out to the lot and check out those brand new vehicles. But let's get to top story of the day.
top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it was that game yesterday for the Memphis Tigers against UAB. Another loss, and this time even worse because it was a loss inside FedEx Forum, a game where UAB jumped out really fast and got a lead. By halftime, they were up, 16 points? I mean, they were in control in that first half and ultimately only led by 11 at the end of the first half. No, 16 at the end of the first half. Won by 11 points. I was looking at the second half. Up 16 at half, really dominated, and a lot of it was kind of what we've been talking about a lot lately with this Tigers team. I mean, we talk so much about how they can't score, how offensively they really struggle, but it's almost like, I feel like that doesn't even explain enough because this Tigers team, they just go on these long scoreless droughts, whether it's not making field goals over a certain amount of time or just no points in general over a span of time. It feels like over the last 2-3 weeks, it seems to pop up every single game. You were without Aaron Bradshaw. We'll kind of get a little more into that later when we have some more time because that was just a really weird situation, the way that it was reported by Jason's Munns. It was weird. It was very strange.
It was.
But ultimately, Tigers, they build a comeback in that second half. They make it a 3-point game after trailing by as many as 19 points. They make it a 3-point game. And then here you go again. They cut it to 3 points with 7 minutes and 5 seconds left in the game. After that, UAB goes on a 9-0 run. Memphis responds with 2 back-to-back buckets. And then again, UAB with a 5-0 run to really put the game out of reach and win it by 11 points. Now, 4 straight losses for the Tigers. Again, we will spend the entire first segment at 5 o'clock talking anything and everything Memphis Tigers, but Tigers not in a great spot right now for the conference tournament.
All right, good, sir. My top story of the day is the culmination of the wrap-up to the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympics. Holds a special place in my heart. They got me paid all winter long, baby. I was doing the Winter Olympics down at Channel 5, guys down there at 1960 Union Avenue. Like we said just a few minutes ago, Norway led the way with the total medals of 41. But we really want to focus on the USA hockey team. First gold medal in 46 years on the exact anniversary of the Miracle on Ice game. And it is to be noted that was not the gold medal game, people. That was en route to the gold medal game. So February 22nd might go down as the greatest day in the history of the United States national men's hockey program because of said feat. So kudos to everyone that participated. I had a blast. I know some people kind of got tired of it towards the end, but that's my top story because we only get to talk about it once every 4 years. So it would behoove me not to lean into that heavily today.
Supposedly, I'm just now seeing that, I'm just now seeing this, but you talking about U.S. hockey, Jack Hughes with the winning goal. Supposedly, there's a scene in Miracle, which I had to watch over the weekend before that gold medal match. There's a scene in Miracle where, which obviously, if you don't know Miracle, it's about the Miracle on Ice movie made a couple years after. There's a scene there where they're going through cuts, and you see a shot of the clipboard, and they're scratching through a name, and the name is Jack Hughes.
For real?
Yes. Look, here it is. Hold on. So you see it's going to reshow it. They're skating. It goes down to the clipboard. Jack Hughes with a marker through it. Jack Hughes gets the golden goal in 2026.
Maybe they knew something.
Maybe.
Not top story of the day.
All right, just real quickly because we need to get to a break, so I'll be fast. I don't know if you've looked at the American Conference Tournament, but a new format this year, only the top 10 teams going down to Birmingham. And right now, if the season ended with those games yesterday, the Tigers would be the number 7 seed in Birmingham, meaning they have to play in the first round on Wednesday, March 11th. They would play the 10 seed. If they won that game, they would have to play on Thursday against the 6 seed. If they won that, Friday against the 3 seed. If they won that, into the semifinals against the 2 seed. And then if they won that, they would get to the championship, which they would likely play the number 1 seed. So we talk so much about all these buys. The top 2 seeds, 1 and 2, they don't play until Saturday in the semifinals. 3 and 4, they don't play until Friday. And right now, the Tigers in a spot where they are the 7th seed, and they would have to play, and to try to get that AQ, would have to win 5 games in 5 days. Now, everything isn't kind of out of question. You look at where they're at. They're only a game behind both Charlotte and Tulane, only a game and a half behind UAB, which is currently in 4th. So you can still move up, improve where your seeding is. But right now, the way they've been playing, it seems like it's going to be tough.
All right, good sir. Quickly, I have 2 O-L-I. Did I do it right?
Yeah, you better.
Outside looking in quickly. The Team USA projected roster for the U.S. Olympics came out, and Ja Morant is not on it. Like I told you guys, if he's not on it, it will tell you where we have been and what we have gone through as a team in the city. But my big, not top story of the day is Anthony Edwards. I got to give it to him. He's crapping all over on the hotels of the city of Memphis, and I'll give it to you verbatim. It says, Anthony Edwards says Memphis has dirty hotel rooms. Quote, this is not from Darian Newsom. Anthony Edwards, quote, when we go to Memphis, I'd be like, damn, those blanks be dirty. I walked into a Memphis hotel one time, and it had blank stains on the bed. If that's true, that's on us. We created hospitality. We're about barbecue and hospitality here. Shame on us if we don't know how to not only treat ourselves, but treat the NBA professionals that come through. I don't knock him for blasting us.
I have a hard time, though, believing that whatever hotel the opposing NBA team stays in when they're playing the Grizzlies would be a hotel that has stuff like that happening.
The only reason is because, like I said, we're close to that industry. It's about the people.
That's true.
It can have 5-star, because I'm not going to use a hotel's name. It can have 5-star landing on it all day long. Oh, yeah. But if we're crappy employees and he doesn't know,
might be.
That's where you get the bad reviews.
My hotel will be 5-star.
That's I'm sure it would be. Well, we need to get to our first break. When we return, we're talking some Grizzlies. Michael Cole from the Commercial Appeal. He joins us next.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Men, if you're tired of relying on pills and want lasting, natural performance in the bedroom, Bluff City Health and Wellness offers Apex RF. Backed by clinical research, this discreet 15-minute, non-surgical treatment boosts blood flow, sensitivity, and confidence. No pills, no needles, no side effects. Appointments are filling fast. Call Bluff City Health and Wellness today at 901-800-7606 or take the ED quiz at bchwonline.com. Bluff City Health and Wellness, your confidence in the bedroom naturally.
Listen up, Mid-South. Landers Ford in Collierville says make no payments for 90 days. That's right. During Ford Truck Month, your #1 Ford dealer gives you payment relief. New Ford F-150, 0% APR financing for 60 months. 0 down payments. 0 payments for 90 days. Are you listening? New F-150s, 0% APR financing for 60 months. 0 down payments. 0 payments for 90 days. Get started now with our Landers Easy Pass at LandersFordMemphis.com. Shop one of the largest selections of new Fords before they're sold. It's only once a year. Act now. 0% APR, 0 down payment, 0 payments for 90 days. There's 0 to pay to drive today. Landers Ford in Colliersville. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much. As reported on Ford's 2025 total new vehicle retail sales report, Memphis market, with approved credit from Ford Credit. Minimum monthly payment of $1,667 per 1,000 finance, regardless of down payment. Interest accrues from inception. Example: 2025 Ford F-150 Lariat. VIN number 1FTFW5L8XSFB43528. MSRP $71,675. Ford bonus cash $1,000. Sale price $70,675. Based on 0% APR financing for 60 months. Price, tax, title, and $695 processing fee. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 4/2/26.
Meet Morgan Jones. Morgan is about to step into a world unknown to most, thanks to Progressive's Renters Insurance, a place of fresh linens and turn-down service. You see, Morgan temporarily vacated her apartment and has gone to a hotel because a pipe burst in her apartment. A pipe that made her sense of reality and apartment ceiling all come crashing down. Luckily, Morgan checked into Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Coming out of Midtown, it's 240 southbound, just a little ways south of Norris. Again, it's got traffic starting to slow down pretty good. Talking about wrong place, wrong time. That's 240 southbound, just past Norris. Trying to finish the paperwork on this earlier wreck. Still has traffic a little slow. You can get around it, but there's rubbernecking going on. 40 east near Hollywood. That's been going on now for over an hour. Hey, bridal season just around the corner. Shop local this year. You know where. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck when you're on time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant, Darian, and Landon with you on a Monday afternoon. We have to talk some Grizzlies basketball, and joining us now, usually joins us a little bit later in the show, but nice enough to work with us and join us a little bit earlier, DeMichael Cole from the Commercial Appeal. He joins us now. DeMichael, thanks so much for joining us. Plenty to discuss, but I don't think we've talked with you since the news came out that Ja Morant will be out another at least 2 weeks, will be reevaluated again in 2 weeks. Were you surprised by that news, and kind of where are you at in terms of does Ja Morant see the court again this season?
Yeah, not really surprised. I mean, we see the direction and things are going in terms of the Grizzlies prioritizing playing the younger guys, getting these guys more opportunity. I mean, if you just look, at the last game, we see guys starting over Cam Spencer, who haven't played over Cam Spencer all season long. Guys get more minutes than, a guy like that. And Jalen Wells has stayed in the starting lineup, for sure. But even though, Cam has had his struggles, recently, like that stood out to me. Or G.G. Jackson being in the starting lineup a couple games and then coming off the bench and had a great game off the bench, but, was there really a precedent for putting him on the bench after he had 2 strong games? So it's just the direction things are going right now. They want to get a look at a lot of these younger guys, and you ask yourself, where does Ja fit into that? And then you just listen. Yeah, I think a lot of things are said and unsaid based on what you're hearing from the Grizzlies, whether it's the coach in Touma Tisolo or whether it's Zach Kleiman, who basically said we're pivoting to a younger build. He named players. And again, I always go back to the fact that if you go listen to Zach Kleiman over the last 3-4 years, you will hear him several times definitively talk about how Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. are core players on this team going forward. Jaren was traded the last time he talked, and you didn't get the sense that it was the same tone with Ja. I think most people, pretty much anyone, can say that was definitely the case. So with all that being said, it's probably going to be a little bit of a long process here before he potentially even gets a chance to take the floor.
I've heard some people argue, and I think you hear both sides of this. I've heard some people say don't play him anymore. It's not a risk for him to get another serious injury and then be out for who knows how long. And then the other side of that is, well, you didn't move him at the trade deadline, and one reason is because the reports out there were that some people didn't really trust how healthy he was or whatever. If you don't show teams that he can be out there and play, then what is the market going to look like in the offseason? Where are you at with kind of those conversations?
I think you should play him. I really do. I think it's a very simple thing for me. One, the whole idea of winning too much, I just don't think it applies here. You look at where the Grizzlies were. I believe they're 7-13 in the 20 games that Ja Morant has played this season.
Wow.
And a lot of those games came against tougher competition. But guess what? As you get into March, you're going to see the Grizzlies go against the Pistons. You're going to see the Grizzlies go against the Nuggets, the Celtics, the Hornets. The Hawks have been a good team lately. Spurs, Rockets. Like, all these games are pretty much consecutively, pretty much late March. And then same thing when you get to April. I'm looking at April, and I'm telling you exactly what it is right now. Starting April 1st, it's Knicks, Raptors, Bucks, Cavs, Nuggets, Jazz, Rockets to close the season. So just adding Ja Morant and putting him out there with the guys that we've seen play, I don't think you're just going to go out there and go on some, big-time run. If the concern is, we may win too much, because you haven't done that even when Ja was available earlier this season. As good as he was playing towards the back end, they split those 2 games. So that's part of it. And then the other thing is, how realistic is it for you to catch these other teams who are behind you in the quote-unquote reverse standings? For the people who, some people are fans of the tank and stuff, whatever the case may be. And I kind of went out and said, look, the Grizzlies right now, 8, in the projected lottery standings or whatever, they are the 5th lowest team in the Western Conference. They're the 11th seed. It's going to be hard for them to catch any of those teams. Like the Mavericks are right behind them. That's the one where they're basically a game and a half behind. The Jazz, the Pelicans, the Kings. The Kings, we see what they're doing. The Kings have lost 16 games in a row. The Pelicans, they're 16-42. They'll get DeJounte Murray back. They have reason to play, but still, you're talking about making up over 6.5 games. The Grizzlies, Pelicans, the gap there. So it's going to be hard to really catch any of those teams in the reverse standings. Basically, no matter how much you lose, those teams are probably going to lose a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So with all that being said, I don't think the Grizzlies are going to jump from 11 to 10 by winning a few games, because right now the Clippers, who've lost a couple games in a row, are the 10 seed, and they're 5 games, ahead of the Grizzlies. So it would take a pretty big collapse. And the Clippers have had their collapses over the years, but still, I just don't see that one happening. So I think the Grizzlies are very entrenched into this 11-12 range, basically the 7th, 8th, 9th, somewhere in the lottery, somewhere in there, no matter if you play Ja, if you don't play Ja. Yeah. So I'm of the opinion, just play him, because we saw what his value was at the trade deadline this year. You play him, get him some opportunities on the floor, and I think over the full course of a summer, there will be a team that will convince itself that we can be the franchise that can maximize or bring out the best in Ja Morant if they see the best version of Ja Morant in flashes a little bit here going to the end of the season.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you on that. You mentioned Jaren Jackson Jr. a couple minutes ago. He was back inside FedEx Forum Friday night. What was that like, seeing Jaren Jackson Jr. on the opposing team's bench and getting his ovation and his video and kind of his welcome back?
Woo. Man, it was pretty good. I saw him before he came into the arena, so I was pulling up into the media parking lot night, and I got out, and I was walking, into the garage, getting ready to go into the FedEx Forum, and a car is slowly creeping up in front of me, and I'm like, you see a car slowly creeping up, and the windows are tinted. I'm like, all right, it's daytime, so we're right in front of FedEx Forum, but then the windows start to come down, slowly, and then I see Jaren Jackson Jr. just has this big smile, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, what? You're here? He's like, yeah, because, I thought the surgery, you have surgery that soon.
Sure.
But we don't have to get into that whole thing with the Jazz. But yeah. So I seen him then, and, he was happy to see me. It was cool seeing him, and Jaren was a fun player to cover over the years, man. Just seeing him kind of take it in, he really soaked it up. Mm-hmm. He got there, like I said, about two hours before the game, and he's out there pregame just talking to ushers, talking to the kids, talking to families that he's been familiar with over the years, talking to his former teammates, talking to his former assistant coaches, and everyone, just soaking it all the way up, all the way until the end of the game, and talking to the guys after the game. But yeah, we know how special Memphis is and was to Jaren Jackson Jr. I talk about, the community aspect so much, guys, because I was at a lot of those events.
Yeah.
I went to 2 of his camps, this summer, and last summer, and I just remember him telling me, he held a Nike Elite basketball camp just where it was invite only for some of the best kids, in the city, and he was telling me that, I want to keep doing this going forward, and I'm like, man, this is a pretty dope idea that, a Grizzlies player with the backing of Nike gets to host an elite camp in the city, and we only get it for 1 year. So it's the things he does in the community. We know Boys and Girls Club, Girls Inc., so many more organizations. And he has his own foundation, Jaren Jackson Jr. Foundation. But as much as he's going to be missed on the floor, he's going to be missed off the floor as well.
DeMichael, I'm looking for a little ray of sunshine in these troubling times here in Grizzly land.
Yeah.
So can you tell me what player has made the best or the most out of this opportunity right now, on and off the floor, that will translate into next season?
Man, as of this moment, so you said translate into next season. Olivier Maxence-Prosper has done a really good job, but I don't know if he's going to be here next season. Gigi Jackson is probably the guy who I think is the name that I'll single out. We talked about now 3 consecutive games that are over 20 points. First time he's done that since his rookie season. Second time he's done it in his career. I think he's finding the distinctive ways to score the basketball. I wrote a story about this because it stood out to me that it's like a light bulb. It's clicked for him. And to me, the best scorers in the NBA, they have counters. You take away option A, they can go to B. You know, I say the same thing with pitchers in baseball. You know, if you're going against a guy who has a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, he doesn't have his control that day. Can he still have effective secondary pitches that he can rely on just for that day and have a strong start? And with Gigi Jackson, you're seeing the three-point shot isn't falling at a high clip for him, but he's finally figured out, I don't have to keep settling for jumpers and shoot 42% from the field like he did as a rookie, or shoot 37% from the field like he did in his second season. I'm 6'9". I'm 220. I'm about to get downhill. These dudes can't stay in front of me. I'm elusive. There's a reason I was the number one ranked high school player in my class before reclassifying, because I have a lot of athleticism, I have really good size, and I have tantalizing skill set and measurables that if I put it together and I consistently do these things, it's going to be trouble. And that's what we're starting to see. You look at that last game, he shot 11 and 17 from the field, only made 1 3, but was still super efficient because he got downhill. He attacked the basket. He was relentless in that. And as long as he continues to do that, of course, he's going to keep shooting the 3 balls. He likes shooting. So he's going to continue to do that. Gigi Jackson's putting some good stuff on film. I know a lot of people are going to compare it to, you know, his rookie year, because once again, he's in a situation where they're not really winning games. But I think the one thing that I would caution people with is the efficiency is the big difference so far. You know, I pointed out how over the last 3 months, he's shot over 50% in each of those months. That is not something he was doing earlier in his career.
All right, DeMichael, my last question here, and I'm trying to deal with facts right here, so forgive me. So as of right now at this moment, we still have a star that resides in the 901, and his name is Demetrius Morant. My question is, with these assets that we've stockpiled, I can see a situation where we kind of look like the old Portland Trail Blazers, where it was Dame Lillard and the Lillards, so to speak. What should we do with these assets if we intend to keep one Ja Morant?
Man, if you keep Ja Morant, I think
I say get a veteran. I'd say package what you can to get whatever veteran. But what says you?
But look, I hear you. But they made it very clear that they're pivoting to a younger build. That's Zach Kleiman's exact word. So I think with these draft picks, like using your theory of keeping Ja Morant, I think that would put them in a situation where they're going to emphasize getting another wing or getting a player who could fill the spot of Jaren Jackson Jr. That means if you drop into the top 4, you're going to be in prime position to get a Cam Boozer to basically play Jaren's spot. You're going to be in prime position to get a Caleb Wilson to play at the 4. You're going to be in a prime position to go get a DeBanfa, to go get a Darren Peterson as well, to add on the wing alongside of a Cedric Coward or however the case that situation will work out. So it'll be about just kind of putting the right pieces together. But I think if you keep Ja, you can be a little bit more aggressive with your picks. Right now, I think they need to just find something with those picks. But yeah, look, I wouldn't be out here banking on them keeping Ja.
I can just see a world where it looks like Dame. Yeah. I'm the crazy one up here at the station. In my head, I just saw what Dame Lillard did alone by himself. You know, the more he matured and got older. And of course, when you get older as an NBA player, you tend to do things a lot better than you did when you were younger. That's all.
No, for sure. Most definitely.
You just listed off a bunch of prospects there. Any guy that has jumped off the page for you that you'd love to see with this group in Memphis?
Man, I like a lot of guys. I think, you know, if you're talking about the top 4, putting Cam Boozer alongside of Zach Edey with Cam's ability to shoot the basketball, his rebounding, the Grizzlies would be the best rebounding team in the NBA if you had Zach Edey and Cam Boozer. Yeah. Just clean it. And with Cedric Coward, oh my goodness. Cedric Coward's already a great rebounding wing. You put those 3 guys together, they'll be able to be like Houston Rockets this season or the old Grizzlies teams that were top rebounding teams. So Cam Boozer makes a lot of sense from the profile that the Grizzlies want to go more towards, with the physicality that he brings as well. I think in that top 4, he's one that stands out to me. Of course, I love Darren Peterson. I know everyone has the injury concerns.
Yes, we do.
He's good. He's too good, man. I don't care. He's too good. Look, if you have the injury concerns, my question to those people are: do you want to be the team who misses on him, and you draft one of those other guys first, and he turns out to be the player that we expect him to be, I don't want to be that team when it's pretty obvious that if he's on the floor, he's really, really good. So if you want to get into the point guard, there's two that really stand out to me. You know, Darius Acuff, the scoring, the assist-to-turnover ratio is historic. I really like his game. I think Kinston Fleming, of the 4 point guards that you probably with Keaton, Michael Brown, Darius Acuff, and Kinston Fleming. And I think Kinston Fleming is the safest pick. If you want a guy, you're like, okay, we know he's going to be solid. We don't know how good he's going to be, but the finishing at the rim is at historic levels for him right now. He has good size. He shot the 3-point shot well, and he's already a really, really strong defender. And let's be honest, you don't go to Houston unless you can play defense.
That's right.
So with that being said, it seems like he's the safest bet for, you know, the shooting, the defense, the rim finishing ability. Like, if 2 of those 3 things translate, he's still going to be a solid NBA floor general. So those are names that really stand out to me if we're talking about in that top 8 range where the Grizzlies are projected to be.
And quickly to you both, Boozer, he reminds me of David West. You guys agree?
I see that, yeah.
Same body, the tenacious aspect from a rebounding standpoint. If you can get a David West like that New Orleans, New Orleans, where were they? They weren't the Pelicans back then, where were they?
The Hornets.
Yeah, the Hornets.
I'm not saying it. Yeah, I'm not saying it, man. But some people have thrown Tim Duncan, like young Tim Duncan with the rebounding, the shot blocking ability. Not the greatest athlete in the world, but just very strong, great finishing. Like, some people throwing that name out.
His floor is higher than a lot of those guys.
Oh, no, he's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
He is, he's
pretty
legit,
good.
for sure. Last thing for you, DeMichael, Lawson Lovering's 10-day expired. They've now picked up Ryan Rupert on a 10-day, the former Portland Trailblazer. Were you surprised that they didn't pick up another big or put Lawson on a second 10-day and instead going with a wing option?
Yeah, definitely surprised, man. But, I mean, I guess I shouldn't be. You know, we know the direction that things are going, but yeah, they have a lot of guards already. That one did really make a lot of sense to me. Some people in Portland have already reached out to me and said, man, they really like Rupert and whatnot, but it's still, you know, it's like with Lawson, you knew, like, oh yeah, he's definitely going to get playing time here. It's a situation where they have a lot of guards. So hey, we'll see, you know, kind of how they use me. 6'7", that's kind of 6'7" gets you in center range these days with this team. Right. They don't have any centers, so maybe he's coming over here to test out his small ball center skills.
Man,
I held it back to 6'7" so bad.
Yeah, no, you did a good job with that, Darren.
You did, yeah. Hey, man, it was on my tongue too. Really.
I think we were all just sitting there hoping nobody else did it. But yeah, we'll see what it looks like tonight against Sacramento. Another kind of tank-off game against a Kings team that certainly has no business and does not want to win games. But DeMichael, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you again next week.
All right, take care, guys.
Thanks to Michael. DeMichael Cole from the Commercial Appeal. Read all his work over there. He does a phenomenal job covering this Grizzlies team. And like he said, or like we talked with him about, Ryan Rupert, the latest addition to the Grizzlies on a 10-day. I was racking my brain. Whenever that was, when was that announced? Yesterday that Rupert was coming over? I think it was
2
yesterday.
days. Yeah, okay. 48, within 48 hours.
I want to say it was yesterday. It could have been Saturday. I really have no idea. My weekend's all running together. For whatever reason, when Rupert was drafted, I was very high on him. And for the life of me, he's European. I don't know where exactly he's from. For the life of me, I cannot remember why I was so high on this guy. He hadn't done anything. I mean, Portland, he didn't really see much playing time. He was a second-round pick to begin with. But for whatever reason, I just, like, whenever I hear Ryan Rupert, I'm like, I love that guy. But I can't remember why I love that guy. So he's now a Grizzly. So hopefully he gives me a reason.
He gives you your ROI.
Maybe that's what it'll be like. Like maybe he'll be good for the Grizzlies, have a nice 10-day, and then I'll be like, all right, well now I can just say this is why I love.
I gotta think you got a book somewhere where you wrote a note or two about him somewhere.
I have no idea.
You'll run across it.
It's probably gonna be like the stupidest thing if I ever remember why. It's probably gonna be the dumbest reason to like a guy, but for whatever reason, Ryan Repair, I'm a fan. So hopefully he plays well for the Grizzlies. Who knows when we'll see him? Like DeMichael said, a lot of guards on this roster already. But we need to get to another break. When we return, I talk a little more NBA Grizzlies to wrap up the hour, and then we'll talk with David Cobb about college basketball to start our second hour. Don't go anywhere. You listen to Sports Time.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show? No! Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Air. We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home and office. Protect babies, pets, new homes, old homes, employees, friends, loved ones, and you. Just call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 for the Memphis Mold Inspector.
It's often said that eggs are nature's perfect food. They're good and good for you. So why not have the perfect food cooked the perfect way by Sunrise? Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise East on Poplar specialize in not only cooking eggs perfectly, but cooking them perfectly any way you want, fast, fresh, and just for you. Be honest, a lot of the time you really crave a breakfast made by people who really know what they're doing and genuinely care about your experience. And that's something you'll always find at Sunrise.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Meet Morgan Jones. Morgan is about to step into a world unknown to most, thanks to Progressive's Renters Insurance, a place of fresh linens and turn-down service. You see, Morgan temporarily vacated her apartment and has gone to a hotel because a pipe burst in her apartment, a pipe that made her sense of reality and apartment ceiling all come crashing down. Luckily, Morgan checked into Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
After a car accident, money is on the line, and that's why one call can change everything. NST has spent over 35 years fighting for Memphis families and winning big. The call is free, and you don't pay unless we win. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000.
Running a commercial plumbing or HVAC company isn't easy. You're driving revenue, managing payroll, coordinating marketing, juggling projects, and keeping customers satisfied all at once. You need software that keeps up. It's time to upgrade to ServiceTitan, the all-in-one solution built to help companies like yours run smarter, grow faster, and scale with confidence. See how the most successful contractors are doing it today with ServiceTitan. Visit ServiceTitan.com to learn more. That's ServiceTitan.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
So you were telling me during the break that you think Houston should have traded Tari Eason.
Yep.
Wait, tell me the exact trade.
Okay, basically watching them implode over the weekend against the Knicks and how everything is KD or bust. For whatever reason, Şengün is not as precise as he was at the beginning of the year. If you think about it, I think that first game that they played during the season opener, he was like 39 points, close to a triple-double. It was like Şengün is going to take this team over the top with the addition of KD. And, of course, they receded because they don't have a point guard. Their point guard actually got hurt for the duration of the season. Well, the entire season. Hadn't played a moment. Yeah. So, as I was looking, I was wondering, I was like, a first-round pick possibly could have gotten job, but you would have had to sweeten it up a little bit. And I was just breaking that team down. You don't want to give away.
Wait.
Go for it.
You think Houston would have had to add something in addition to a first-round pick?
Based on what you're saying. Like you said, we're not taking pennies. Like Climate said, we want young people or draft picks.
Right. But Houston would never offer that.
But it's low.
Like,
That's what I said. What they
for
should
this
have.
draft? You think they'd put a first round for this draft? For John Morant?
It should be. Isn't it going to be in the 20s, late 20s? You don't believe?
I mean, let's see where Tankathon has them.
Just basically, and then notice when we were in all, I said low pick.
Trade deadline.
Yeah, you know when we were out, I said low pick. I was thinking, good team, but fell on hard times with you obviously not having your point guard.
So right now, Tankathon
22, 24
has if the draft happened today, Houston didn't even have a pick, so Houston couldn't trade at 2026.
You know what? They were one of those teams they probably gave it up to get KD.
Probably.
So they were out. Okay.
So okay, but like maybe
a future,
a 27 or something like that. Maybe.
If you could have gotten him for that price to add to this team, and of course limited play. Conversation with Udoka. Hey, Ja, we're going to play you, but this is for the playoffs. This is to get a ring. So we're going to ingratiate you, let you play here and there, but a little bit of load management because of, your slight build or whatnot. But we need you for the playoffs. I think that may have worked, dude. Like looking at that team, I think that may have worked. I don't know why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know.
Especially at such a low cost and given, like I said, you have to add up everything.
Yeah.
Not having a point guard. Look at the team, how they're playing right now without a floor general. Just kind of KD or bust right now.
So you are a Lakers fan.
Absolutely.
This is the last thing, and we'll get to a break.
Absolutely.
Since we're talking some NBA here. Pat Riley got a statue
in his Armani
yesterday for his time with the Lakers. Yes. I thought it was in terms of statues. It feels like we're in an era now where all statues are bad.
Yeah,
that was really good. I like the
can't miss the Godfather,
the statue. So he's the 8th member of the Lakers organization to be honored with a statue. Can you name the other 7? Actually, can you name the other 6? Because one of them was a broadcaster.
You have Chick Hearns.
Okay, so I didn't want to stump you there and be like,
me with that, baby. So you got Chick. You got Kareem. You got Shaq. Of course, you're talking to a guy that went to Kobe's funeral, so I was there. All right, so I saw the sky hook. I saw Shaq's dunk. Kobe.
You got 4. You need 2 more, I think. Yeah, 2 more. 3 more.
Wilt. I don't think Wilt. Does he wear that on? No Wilt. Okay, no Wilt.
So 3 more.
Worthy.
Very worthy. All 3 of these guys very worthy. Oh, you're saying James Worthy. Are they worthy of a statue? Of course they're worthy. No, not James Worthy. Think.
Jerry West. Jerry West. My bad. Jerry West logo. Jerry West.
2 more.
I know Oscar De La Hoya. You got one other.
Nope.
No, Oscar De La Hoya does have one. He's not a Laker, bro.
Yeah, I'm just looking.
All right, that's good enough, dude. That's good enough.
Magic.
Okay, hot dog.
Magic.
That was the lowest hanging fruit. Magic.
And Elgin Baylor.
Okay. I would have if we were sitting around with surveys, I'd have got Magic. Elgin is the one that would have got me. But like I said, even Oscar has one. Like I said, the arena is not just for Lakers, but just great LA guys. And quickly, while we're on,
it's a lot of statues. Though. Just like so we're all on the same page. It's a lot of statues.
I'm gonna give you this in 30 seconds. Like I said, the issue with me was with this Olympic team, and shout out to ESPN. If I can find this now, I would give them credit right now. But it's an ESPN story where they are projecting the 12-man roster for the Olympics. And like I've been on this since last year, I said, guys, if he is not, guys and gals, if he's not on that team, that tells you about the turmoil or lack thereof that we've gone through as a team, and he is a player. And here are the 12 projected players right now. And once I'm done, I'll tell you quickly why it gets even worse. Cooper Flag, Con Knuckle, Jalen Duren, Aman Thompson, Scotty Barnes, Kay Cunningham, Anthony Edwards, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, Tyrese Halliburton, Bam Adebayo, and Jason Tatum. What makes this worse is they have 2 OLIs, and he's not even on that. Devin Booker will be the top perimeter replacement, and Evan Mobley will be the top big man replacement. No sign of Ja Morant on here, and this was the worst case scenario that I've been speaking about for at least a year now. This is horrible because he should have been on the first. But shout out to the gun play and all that stuff. So I don't know, dude. But this is bad, people. I didn't think it would come to fruition, but this is bad.
We'll see what it looks like in 2028. But we need to wrap up this first hour. When we return, we're talking college hoops. David Cobb from CBS Sports. He joins us next.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for unlimited range time, free gun rentals with purchase of ammo, and members lounge access. Top Gun, 2770 Witten Road and TopGunMemphis.com. Always shoot with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 Cordova, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-sized courts, 3 high school-sized courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis, now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
Drivers wanted, drivers wanted. If you're looking for a new ride, we Gossett at Gossett Volkswagen on the pike. How about sporty 2026 Jetta S, $277 a month? We Gossett. 2026 Taos S is only $327 a month. $327 a month for Taos S. How about Tiguan S at only $355 a month? We Gossett. $355 a month for Tiguan S. You want a new ride? We got you covered at Gossett Volkswagen on the pike. Remember, it's not a new ride if it's not from Gossett, so get to Gossett Volkswagen today, 1875 Covington Pike, or online, GossettVWMemphis.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, Jetta SM104-280, MSRP 26,426, Taos SMO6162, MSRP 27,011, Jetta TMW5137, MSRP 25,820, Taos STM108-191, MSRP 29,101, Tiguan TMO14510, MSRP 32,585, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, excludes tax on a license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 2/28/26, dealer stock only.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Trying to clear this rank. It's been on here for a while, actually a little bit longer than we thought it would be, but it is in its wrap-up stages. 40 East near Hollywood. Again, there's a short delay over there. You can get around. It's been mostly rubbernecking delays through that area there on 40 East at Hollywood the last hour. As you work your way south of Memphis now, that's building pretty good on 55 down through South Haven into DeSoto County. Hey, bridal season just around the corner. Shop local at Weimer's Jewelry this year, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant, Darian, Landon with you as we start our second hour on this Monday afternoon. And we start it like we start every second hour on Mondays. We talk college football and college basketball with David Cobb.
Joining Brian and Brett now on Sports Time is National College Football writer for CBS Sports, Memphis native and Tennessee grad, who you can find on Twitter X at David W. Cobb. It's David Cobb.
David Cobb joins us now from CBS Sports to talk all things college football and college basketball. David, thanks so much for joining us. I got to start with I believe you took part in the media selection committee last week, and a lot of people were talking about that. I'm curious how that went, but I want to start with the Miami, Ohio conversation, because I saw a lot that I guess when y'all got to Miami, Ohio, y'all had them losing one game, just having one loss. I'm assuming that one loss would have been in the conference tournament, making them an at-large candidate. What was that experience like? And explain to us a little bit about the conversations that happened with Miami, Ohio.
Oh, buddy, the discourse around the Red Hawks was intense and spirited in that mock committee room in Indianapolis last week, because we've just never seen a team like this before. We have never seen a team with this horrible of a schedule be undefeated at this point in the season. And so how do you make sense of Miami of Ohio? And do we penalize them and punish them for the fact that they played such a horrible schedule? Well, I think that's hard to do because there's a lot of big boys that didn't want to play them. Mm-hmm. Well, in that room last week, one of the counterpoints was, okay, sure, maybe Ohio State and Cincinnati and the other big-time schools in their area didn't want to play them because they look at them and they see a dangerous mid-major team that was really good last year that brought back a ton of players. Okay, totally understandable. Well, why didn't you go out and play Mountain West teams? Mm-hmm. Why didn't you go out and play some of the better teams from the Atlantic 10 or the Missouri Valley? So that was a point that was made in the room as well. And so what happened is they gave us a hypothetical bubble exercise towards the end of the day, a long, long day behind the curtain there in that selection room. And Miami of Ohio was in the bubble, and the NCAA told us, this is a hypothetical again, all right, the results are in from the MAC tournament. Miami of Ohio lost in the MAC tournament title game against Akron on a bad call by 1 point. What are you doing? And so we went back and forth on it, right? And they ended up as an 11 seed. But it was very instructive and interesting to see just sort of what that debate could really look like here over the next couple of weeks, because Miami of Ohio has 3 regular season games left, and then they go to the MAC tournament. And if they go, let's say, they got 4 regular season games left. I'm of the opinion that if they go 3-1 down the stretch and then lose in the MAC tournament, that they are going to fall right on the cut line. Wow. Right on the cut line. I think if they go undefeated down the stretch and lose in the MAC tournament, they will be in. But of course, as we all know in Memphis, particularly right now, you got to win if you win the conference tournament, there's your golden ticket. Sure. And you can go 0-4 these next couple of weeks, it won't matter, right? So, man, they are going to be a huge story in college basketball here the next couple of weeks. They already are. But, man, what a wild ride and a really cool experience kind of being behind the curtain on the selection committee side of it last week.
What team, and I want to get to the weekend results and other things, but just kind of last thing on the mock committee outside of Miami, Ohio, who was the kind of power conference team, high major type team that had the most talk, controversy, discussion, argument about?
Oh, it was absolutely Texas Tech. What do we do with a team that has lost its best player for the rest of the season? And JT Toppin isn't even your run-of-the-mill best player. He's he is the reigning Big 12 Player of the Year. He is a first-team All-American candidate, or he was. So, man, how do you assess that? And then when we were in that room, it had only been announced the day before that he would be out for the season. We had not seen them play without him yet. So we ended up docking them, and they ended up in the 5-6 seed range in that mock exercise. But then what we saw on Saturday during the bracket preview is that the real selection committee, they were not going to penalize Texas Tech too much just yet. Now, the committee chair, Keith Gill, he did say on CBS that Texas Tech was a 3 seed, but that the committee dropped them to a 4 seed. And, of course, they went out and just obliterated Kansas State without JT Toppin. So, hey, look, if they can keep it on the rails here down the stretch and show, hey, we're really not all that much worse without him, then, they won't get hit that hard. But if they really struggle down the stretch, then you will see them not only be penalized for the losses they pick up, but penalized on top of that for the fact that they don't have their best player.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned the committee coming out and releasing their top 16. Any arguments with that? Any disagreement from what they had to say with their top 16?
Yeah, we were in pretty much lockstep agreement at CBS that Houston deserved to be the number 1 seed, the fourth number 1 seed. The committee gave that distinction to Iowa State, and then of course Iowa State went out and lost. So did Houston. So now you got UConn back there for us as the fourth number 1 seed. But I thought it was interesting, the reasoning and the rationale I think was very enlightening and gave us some clues about what to look at down the stretch. Because yes, in all of the team sheet metrics for the most part, Houston rated better than Iowa State. And in all of the predictive metrics, they rated better than UConn. The resume was right there behind UConn. But Houston didn't have that trio of just incredible blockbuster, high-caliber wins that Iowa State and UConn did. So what we learned from that and what we picked up on being at the mock selection exercise is that your best 3 wins, if you've demonstrated the ability to go out and take down the best teams in college basketball, especially away from home, like you are going to be rewarded for that by this committee. And you look at Iowa State with a road win over Purdue, not to mention Big 12 victories over Kansas and Houston. And then you look at UConn with wins over Florida and St. John. Well, no, they haven't beat St. John's, but they've got a bunch of really good wins. And so Houston rates really well in the metrics. They have a very solid resume, but they at this point don't have those 3 elite wins maybe in the same way that a UConn or an Iowa State does. So I thought Houston should have gotten that fourth number 1 seed, but again, without those 3 marquee victories that those other schools had, and with a head-to-head loss to Iowa State, it appears this committee is going to be pretty interested in head-to-head, which, real quick, that's going to matter a lot if Duke and Michigan are sitting there neck and neck on Selection Sunday, right? Because, hey, Michigan's still number 1 in a lot of these metrics, but we did just see Duke beat Michigan head-to-head, straight up, on a neutral court. And if they're close, then I think this committee is going to certainly use that as a tiebreaker.
Yeah, no, really impressive what Duke did over the weekend. I want to get into that. I want to get into Houston. They've got a big one tonight on the road against Kansas. But before we go any further, I do want to ask about the Tigers. Another loss yesterday, this time at home against UAB. That's now 4 straight losses, and I heard some people say on a show earlier on our station say that, could see the South Florida loss coming. Understandable to lose to a South Florida team that is playing extremely well right now. But losing to a team like UAB at home came as a surprise. But you do look at this UAB team, and they're undefeated in conference on the road, and they've only have 1 win at home in conference play. But it's just kind of the same story through these past 4 games, these 4 losses for the Tigers. What did you make of that loss at home yesterday, and kind of where this program is, where it's getting a lot louder of what do you do at the end of the season?
Yeah, right. I think we've known this team it was bad for a long time, but it just keeps getting worse. And I think some of the folks who might be on the fence, you start to see them hopping sides here. It's ugly, right? But at this point, I think we can all agree there is no on-court solution this season. I don't think there's going to be a breakthrough down the stretch here that changes anyone's opinion about this version of Memphis Tigers basketball. Like, this team is clearly well below the standard of a historically proud program. That's been established. Like, there's nothing new that we can learn about them at this point. Barring a miraculous American tournament run, this season is shot. And I feel like most fans have understood that for weeks, if not months. But then where the dialogue gets interesting is on the future of Penny Hardaway. And that seems to be the big discussion topic around Memphis right now, and it's starting to pick up traction around college basketball as well. So it's a dicey, dynamic, difficult situation for the leadership at the University of Memphis to navigate, because you're dealing with one of the all-time great program legends here. I mean, arguably the greatest player in program history, somebody who's been very loyal to the city, loyal to the school, somebody who has had a fair measure of success as a head coach. He's not achieved what anyone hoped he would, but he's been steady. He's been consistent up until this point for the most part, and now you see the bottom falling out. And so the question is now, what do you do? How do you move forward? What guardrails do you put in place to make sure this never happens again? because I got to believe there's a lot of folks who want to see this work. It's Penny Hardaway, right? They were a number 5 seed in the NCAA tournament last year. We know we can do better than this. We saw it a year ago with what they did in November and December. But how do you make sure you don't end up in this situation? I've got some ideas there. I'm sure the administration does as well. But can you keep the big money boosters on board to run it back? Like if you're Penny Hardaway, that's sort of the big question right now.
David, I think those guardrails, you just stated it. It's the big money boosters. In my opinion, I think just going by the best players, but that's just me. So, my friend, can you tell me about the tip heard around the world? A lot of fans are still confused about what happened with Aaron Bradshaw. Can you tell us what happened and clear up the confusion of how it all, I guess, got cleared up?
Genuinely have no idea, but it's concerning. But is it not though? Like a little bit.
That was an understatement, David. I mean, I don't know how on earth that ever happens. No matter what program you are, no matter what level you are, I have no idea how that happened.
Neither do I. So indicative maybe, and stuff like that. It's only going to give you more reason. Like if you were in the fire Penny camp, right? Like the lack of clear and consistent communication from within the team is you're going to use that as a weapon to say, well, this is indicative of the fact that they don't know what's going on in their own program, right? Like, and so I get all that, but I don't know. It's just crazy, right? But yeah. So where do you go from there? That's a great question. But again, at this point, it's just like, I know it's ugly. I know it looks weird. I know it's dysfunctional. But we've seen it flip before. And I'm not out here, like, caping up for Penny Hardaway, saying that you can excuse the season and that doesn't matter. Like, when you're this bad at Memphis, like, it's a problem, like, obviously. So if there's going to be a future here, like, let's be aggressive about making sure this never happens again. Because we saw it a couple years back. Like, they immediately flipped it from that 23-24 team to go out and get Haggerty and Danger, and then they had the best team that Memphis basketball has seen in over a decade, right? So, like, you know, if we can get back to that, then all is well.
You can't forecast it, but David, do you think it's a fair assessment to say that the drill down of the recruiting should be a lot more tedious this time? And I say that as I look at the 24/7 top 100 right now. It looks as if the Tigers, and I know it's early returns right now, but it looks like the Tigers only have one top 100 signee or person that's pointed in that direction, and that's Fred.
Fred hadn't committed yet.
He has not committed. Okay, then Crystal Ball just has Memphis on.
Cello Jackson is committed. That's the only.
And Cello.
The only commit they have.
Okay.
But that's kind of what Penny wants to do. He wants to go to the portal, and I don't know. I feel like right now with where Memphis is at and kind of where NIL is at, it's got to be more on, you know, figuring out where the talent is, maybe not the highest of talented players, but where that talent is and how you can put together a roster that stands alone. And I think that's where a lot of people have been pointing towards a general manager or something similar. I think a lot of people get too caught up on the actual name of general manager. I know there's a lot of schools that have the role of a general manager, but it's under a different title or something like that, of somebody that your only job is to go out there and try to figure out who is the right guy and, you know, what is the best team, and then be able to present that to the head coach, whether it's Penny Hardaway or anybody else, and say, this is a list of guys you need to go out and try to get.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's what I believe. I believe that when they clicked with a good roster, Penny Hardaway is a good basketball coach. I also believe Penny Hardaway is capable of producing a good roster. So I think he can be a good coach. I think he can be a good general manager. I think he's done both at times throughout his tenure. Been a good coach, been a good GM. But in this day and time, doing both at an elite level at the same time, that's brutal. I mean, that you're doing 2 full-time jobs at an elite level. I mean, that's too much to ask of any coach in this era. And so it's got to be on Penny to a certain extent to be willing to accept help, to recognize, like, hey, I can't do all that. I can't coach this team and be crunching tape on synergy to try to find the best portal targets for next year. Like, that's brutal. And part of it last year was the portal opened early. They were playing in the NCAA tournament last year. Well, one, the portal opens later this year. 2, they're not going to be playing in the NCAA tournament. So you're going to have a little bit more window to prepare. But my thing is, like, those preparations and those discussions behind the scenes with agents or whoever knows knows who's looking to leave or knows who's looking for a bag. Like, those things should have been transpiring in November and December. And I can't sit here and tell you for certain how much work this Memphis staff has been doing in preparing for the 2026 portal cycle, but I can tell you for certain that other teams around the country are doing a ton, well in advance, months in advance, to prepare for getting next year's roster together. And that's the professional sports model. A GM is looking out years in advance. Zach Kleiman is structuring contracts today for the Grizzlies to position the team to be successful in 2030. And that's the same as any NBA general manager. It's not just Zach Kleiman. And more we see that sort of structure emerging within college basketball, thinking 1 year ahead, 2 years ahead, 3 years ahead with your program, with the finances, with how certain players will fit, how contracts will be structured, right? You can't do all that on the fly. And if you're a head basketball coach who's buried in the X's and O's and buried in the film and buried in the tape and buried in practices and in your roster that you have on campus right now, it's hard to do all the GM stuff as well. And so I think he needs help. And I think he would be wise to accept it if the Memphis administration is willing to invest in the sort of structure that would be required to really assist Penny Hardaway in the roster construction. Because it's not just about amassing talent. Like, I think there's talent on this team, but I think it's about getting pieces that fit. Because you think the best teams at Memphis under Penny, you got last year, right, where it's Haggerty and Danger. You got some pretty solid role players around those guys for sure, like your Colby Rogers and your Tyrese Hunters. But those two were really the key to it all. And then you go back, the team that was good before that team with Kendrick Davis. I mean, it was Kendrick Davis and it was DeAndre Williams, and everything else fell in around them. And so maybe you thought you could have that with Doug McDaniel and Aaron Bradshaw this year. But, I mean, I was telling you guys, was I not, Bryant? Like, back in the summer, hey, look, like, Aaron Bradshaw was a former 5-star guy, but I don't think he fits the Dame Danger profile. Like, I've seen enough of this player to know that he's not necessarily going to be able to carry your offense down low, right? And so where's the recognition on that from within the Memphis staff? And I understand, like, don't get me wrong. You thought you might get Dame Danger back. It was some of these guys that are getting waivers approved that are playing 5, 6+ years. Like, I don't think you were just totally unreasonable to be optimistic about him coming back, but you got caught in a really difficult position when it didn't work out.
Yeah, no, you absolutely were. We're talking with David Cobb. He joins us every Monday to talk some college hoops and college football. Tonight, a big game. You've got Kansas at home against Houston. Kansas 40-0. On Big Mondays under Bill Self, so they've got a really nice record at home tonight against this Houston team that has looked really, really good. I want your thoughts on the game, but also Darren Peterson. It feels like over the last week, the concern, the conversation, how much people are talking about him, it seems like it's only intensified to another level over this next week. Have you noticed that, and why do you think that's the case?
Yes, I have. It's because the rest of the country is paying attention to college basketball now.
I guess that's true.
With the Super Bowl over, college football is long gone now. The Winter Olympics are winding down. They are done now. So it's hey, all eyes on basketball. And this Darren Peterson guy, what's going on with him? It's kind of like when you've got a couple of siblings in the house, and then the one goes to college, and then the parents realize, we've got this one kid. Let's really figure out what's going on in their life. And so that's how the sports universe works with college basketball this time of year. But I will say this, like, there seems to be a lot of folks kind of rushing to Peterson's defense as well and saying, hey, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know who are we to question his toughness and his want to and his drive. And I'll listen to that. Let's go down that road for a second and pull on that thread. Okay, let's say it is in no way a matter of his want to or his drive or his motor or his heart for the game of basketball. Let's say all of that is in the right place. Well, then what we're looking at is a situation where the top prospect in this draft class then has serious health concerns.
Yeah.
I mean, if he wants to be out there, wants to finish games, and is doing everything in his power to do everything he can to help the Kansas Jayhawks this season, and he's unable to because of recurring health issues that have lingered for months, boy, that raises some red flags. To me, that's more concerning than the alternative, right? Because a lot of people want to say, oh, he doesn't have a motor, his care factor is low, he's just trying to milk this until he can get to the draft. Like, and either way you slice it, if you're a GM in possession of the number 1 overall pick, and you also got A.J. DeBonsa there, and you also have Cam Boozer there, and those guys don't have either of these potential issues. So I'm thinking long and hard about one of them because, I mean, sure, Peterson's probably the top prospect in the class, but you give me Cam Boozer or A.J. DeBonsa, I'm not going to be mad, right? Yeah. So, I mean, that's where I'm at on it is like, all right, even if the health stuff is very, very real, very legitimate, and that's the issue, then, well, it's still an issue. So that's, you know, I don't want to pretend like I know the young man and his motives and heart. But assuming, as we all should with anybody, you know, assuming the best motives and the best intentions for him, I'm still really concerned about the health aspect of it.
Yeah, no, I think you should be. Your thoughts on tonight's game between Houston and Kansas?
Yeah, it's sort of a weird situation with Kansas limping in off the loss over the weekend against Cincinnati, and now Houston has dropped 2 in a row as well. So maybe a little sense of desperation there for both, which should make for a good fight and a compelling game, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, I think given what we saw from Kansas on Saturday, and given the fact that I think it's been about 7 years since Houston has lost 3 games in a row, I'm leaning Cougs in this one. Kingston Flemings, we all know, is a total stud. Emmanuel Sharp, clutch veteran guard. Milos Uzan. I mean, I just named you 3 guards right there that probably comprise the best backcourt in America, and that's why I cannot quit Houston. Even though they have not been at their best as of late, you give me veteran guards of that caliber, and obviously Kingston Flemings is younger, but Sharp and Uzan are vets. And so those 3, best backcourt in America, man. And that's why I think Houston will win tonight and be well positioned to have a really deep run again.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun later tonight on ESPN. But David, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your week, and we'll do it again next Monday.
All right, I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, David. David Cobb, he joins us every week from CBS Sports, talk college basketball and college football. You realize in 3 weeks we'll be breaking down what the bracket looks like?
Turn your time, baby. Turn the page.
We'll be talking about Dayton and the first 4 and all of that.
Koa Pete's return.
It's hard. It's hard to believe.
Got a quick recruiting question for you.
Okay.
I'm a firm believer, and I have no inside information on this, that once upon a time, Anthony Penny Hardaway walked into your mom's living room, your mom and your dad's living room, and they said, "Hey, that's Tyra Banks, fool." You know, Chris Rock and the Penny Hardaway shoes and all. He was Penny Hardaway, the All-Star. I think there was such a huge cog in his recruiting. I think, you know, just him being him. But now you walk into that same living room. Yes, you're Penny Hardaway, but the kid is saying, "Where's the check behind it?" Right. Do you think that style of recruiting, now that it's kind of been banished and, you know, it's all about the money or whatnot, does that hurt Penny? Because I can't see Penny going in there being an X and O, say, "Hey, Landon will always be right here, but this will be your spot all the time," you know, on the whiteboard. I think he walked in to say, "Hey, Mom, Dad, I'm Penny Hardaway. I will take care of your kid." You know, of course, there's some basketball elements to it, but I don't know.
I mean, I think you definitely look at kind of where he was at the beginning of his career in recruiting and bringing all these, you know, top guys from Memphis, and hey, this is Penny Hardaway, and he's bringing all the Memphians here, and then you go out and get James Wiseman, and, you know, even more of, you know, that team. You go out and get Precious Achiuwa, who was a 5-star. You get Lester Quinones, who was a 4-star. You're able to go out and get those guys by saying, "Hey, I'm Penny Hardaway," and not only I'm Penny Hardaway. Hey, here's Mike Miller on my staff.
Luster.
You know, then even with Imani Bates and Jalen Duren, I think it was kind of a similar thing. So yeah, I think it's different now, but I think the whole game has changed. You know, I don't even think it's that. I think Penny Hardaway got to a point where he felt like he was getting burned with some of these freshmen, whether it was, hey, they're coming here and they're just not ready to play, or they're coming here, they're spending a year here and then they're going somewhere else. And so why even bother go out and get these guys? I mean, look at that. Like you just named, it's February and there's one commit. I don't know if he's signed yet or not. I think a lot of people think Fred Smith will probably commit to Memphis.
His crystal ball says 100.
Sure.
Cello, like once you said his name, that's the one that was escaping me. So my apologies. Kudos to you on that. He's not even in the 150. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where
if this is incorrect or what.
Yeah, I haven't been on the recruiting trail as much lately, so I don't know where Cello is. But I think he's a 4-star. I mean, I think he's a highly touted guy, but. Look at last year. You know, they brought in, Simon Majok as their, freshman. You go back to Penny Hardaway has not recruited freshmen, but that's not just Penny Hardaway. That's all across the country. I mean, there are programs. I've seen quotes out there from, anonymous coach that says, if he's not in the top 25, we're not recruiting him because we can just go out and get this guy that's 24, 25 years old that's been playing 3 years of college basketball, bring him in and immediately plug him into our starting five. So we don't care about those
It just made me think, because I can't see Kelvin Sampson, going
Right.
in and having all this pizzazz behind him. He's going in talking X's and O's, how I'm going to help raise your child to become a man. Hopefully Penny utilized it. But I think it was more or less about, the all-star and him. And now when he walks in, you still have that cachet, but the kid is sitting there saying, man, how much you got, dog?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so different now because you can go out in the transfer portal and get these older guys. Or if you're Nate Oates, you can just go out there and get a professional basketball player and add him to the team. So it's just a different era. But we need to get to a break, and when we return, we're going to talk some bracketology. Dave Almond, Bracket Guy Dave, he joins us next.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at CodesDispensary.com. That's CodesDispensary.com.
Bobby J's waiting for you at Gossett Kia on the Pike. It's the 2026 President's Day sales event. He's ready to rock. How about 2026 Kia K4 LXS $219 a month? Or take your pick, 2026 Kia Sorento LX or 2026 Kia Sportage Hybrid LX $297 a month. 2027 Kia Telluride LX just hit the lot at $449 a month. All 24-month lease $39.99 due at signing. Plus all 2026 EV9s $12,000 off or 0% for 60 months available. Plus, Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Bobby J's ready to put you in a new Kia today at Gossett Kia. 1900 Covington Pike online. KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
K4 MSRP 25,285, Sorento TG 414,140, MSRP 34,030, Sportage Hybrid LXT 2271,780, MSRP 31,865, Telluride DG 007,748, MSRP 44,510, EV9 TG 07645, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, must finance through KFA, excludes tax on a license with approved credit, dealer stock only, see dealer for complete details, offer valid through 3/2/2026.
Remember the song, How Many More Times? That's right, the title of the song that fits in right with what I always tell people. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Ben Store Realtors. Before you put your house on the market, I always tell people to talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers to not only find out what they think of your home and its pricing, but more important, what they will do for you. And make sure that I am one of them. There are keys to my highly successful strategic marketing program that involve preparing your house for the market and being able to present it before any objections take place. I've done this for a long time, and my professional team has one goal in mind: to get you to the closing table making as much money as possible. But first, remember what people often say: when you want the job done, call Shell Done at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. Remember, how many more times? That's Shell Done at MemphisRelocate.com or 483-0546. And tell me the name of the band that sang that song.
If wedding bells are in your future, you need an unforgettable engagement ring from a jeweler you can trust. And that's been James Gaddis Jewelers for over 60 years. With a huge selection and the best prices, James Gaddis is a master jeweler and diamondologist. Beautiful jewelry from James Gaddis is always the right choice. Choose from rings to earrings, necklaces to bracelets, and gemstones to watches. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar, online at GaddisJewelers.com and Instagram at Gaddis Jewelers. Say I do at James Gaddis Jewelers.
This traffic report brought to you by City Center Liquor just off Highway 70 in Lakeland. Local, friendly, and always fully stocked. For a 5% discount, tell them Sports 56 sent you.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A couple of accidents in their wrap-up stages. It's building pretty good through the Midtown area, a little bit more than it was 15-20 minutes ago on 240 South at South Parkway. Now, be careful this further south you go at Memphis. We had radar down through DeSoto County. That was a little bit earlier as it gets a little bit busy down through there right now through South Haven on 55 going southbound. Hey, check out the cats and dogs that are available for adoption at the Humane Society of Memphis, Shelby County. Log on to memphishumane.org. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant, Darian, Landon with you on this Monday afternoon, and we've got to talk bracketology. And joining us now, Dave Amon. You know him as Bracket Guy Dave. He joins us at this time every Monday to talk bracketology. You can go find his bracket over at Bracketville. Dave, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. A lot to get to, but we did see the committee come out on Saturday, reveal their top 16 teams. How closely do you watch that? Not really in terms of those top 16 teams, but does that help you kind of look at the rest of the field and see, hey, the committee is saying this with the top 16. I can use that to kind of figure out the rest of the bracket.
To a certain extent, yes, and thanks for having me on again. It's always a lot of fun to talk college hoops, particularly with March right around the corner. But, in terms of the reveal, it does give some insight into, how the committee in a given year might view some teams and resumes. That said, I think, most of us that have done this for a period of time also recognize that there are some variances within that. In one indication, you might see them talk about the metrics of this team. In another team, it's, well, they had these big wins in the non-conference. So there is always going to be some nuance to it. And that's probably a good thing, because if we could all just look at a metrical table and it was said, well, here's your team, it would just sort of take some of the fun out of it too.
No, it absolutely would. Did you have any disagreements or anything? What did you think of the top 16 that was revealed?
I think for the most part, it was pretty much what most of us expected. I think Vanderbilt might have been the only one that was, I won't say it was a surprise. It could have gone one of two ways. I think they had Alabama as their first team out. I would have had Alabama in that final spot as opposed to like Vanderbilt. But again, this is how are they viewing it versus how somebody else. And in Vanderbilt's case, I think their, what we like to call their predictive metrics or their quality metrics, like the Kim Palms, the Bart Torbiks, weighed a little bit heavier on the side for Vanderbilt. At least that's, if I remember correctly, what they indicated.
Yeah, no, I definitely kind of agree with that with Vanderbilt. And then we saw Vanderbilt at home lose to Tennessee. What did you make of that win for the Volunteers?
Well, certainly helped Tennessee's position. They were had worked their way back into being a solid 5 seed as of Friday. That will only further that and actually give the Volunteers potentially, a chance to still get a protected seed by the time we get to Selection Sunday. And when we say protected seed, we mean one of those top 16. They are, quote, protected a little bit, at least in their first round game, from being in a location that would be at a disadvantage for them, against an opponent or something like that.
Yeah, no, it was an impressive win for Tennessee, and looked at times that Vanderbilt was gonna win that game, and then here comes Tennessee and they get the win. I know we've talked about it a couple weeks ago about this BYU team, a very talented team. Then we get the news last week they're losing one of their key players, and they've really had a trouble this year beating kind of those top tier opponents that they've played on their schedule. They got a massive win late Saturday night. What did you make of that win for BYU and kind of where they're at right now?
Well, it was a huge win for them because, coming into that game, they were what we would call over against the very top teams of Quadrant 1. So, they were 0-6 against the very top of that set of the best teams. Now they have a win. One win, particularly at home, is not going to, at this point in the season, is not just going to drastically change their resume. But what it does do, it keeps them potentially from going in the other direction where they start looking and said, well, you really don't have any elite wins. So then do they become more potentially like a 7 seed by Selection Sunday? Now I think they've kind of been hovering on that 6th line. I think this sort of firms that up for them, and depending on how they finish, could get back in the conversation with their metrics for a 5 seed. And, they do have a pretty favorable schedule left in terms of home with UCF. Their 2 road games are at West Virginia and at Cincinnati. Now, neither of those are going to be easy. Morgantown is not easy place to go win in, and Cincinnati certainly has looked a lot better in the last week and a half.
Yeah.
Witness, what they did at Kansas over the weekend. And then they close with Texas Tech, who, like them, is, a little undermanned now at this point for the rest of the season. So we'll see. I think BYU most likely is going to be in that 5 to 6 seed unless they really finish strong and or knock off somebody else or two in the Big 12 tournament.
Mm-hmm. You had UCLA in your most recent bracket on Friday. You had UCLA as the final team in the field. They were another team that got a big home win over Illinois. An overtime game. Looked like Illinois and Keaton Wagler had just won it, and then Donovan Denton goes coast to coast and gets the win for UCLA. Where will that put the Bruins in your updated bracket?
Well, the new one comes out tomorrow, and they're most likely going to find themselves just above that first 4 now. So, they're still in what we would call the last 4 buys, or that probably like the 10 seed line. And they still have some work to do to stay there, because they just don't have a deep compilation of wins.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a win over Purdue and now Illinois with, some other quad 2 wins factored in there, they're certainly in a much better position now. They could have been right on that cusp of either staying just barely in or even potentially just falling out if some other teams had won that were really close to them. So it's a big win for them. It gives them a little bit of quote-unquote breathing room, if you will, between now and the end of the season where, they can't lose 2 or 3 in a row and just think it's over, but maybe they have a little bit more space to not be right on that cut line.
Yeah. The one of the big games from over the weekend was Duke and Michigan, a neutral site game up in D.C., and Duke ends up getting the win over Michigan. What will your number 1 seeds look like tomorrow after everything that happened over the weekend?
Well, 3 of them won't change. The only difference would be given what the committee had mentioned about, like, for example, I had Iowa State as my final number 1, and that's ultimately what they did because of the win over Houston, the win against Kansas, and then that non-conference big road win at Purdue. So given the fact that head-to-head was a little bit of a factor for like when teams are right next to each other, Duke will be the number 1 overall in the morning. Michigan will be number 2. Won't change anything about their regions. Duke will go east, Michigan Midwest. Arizona will stay status quo in the 3rd spot in the West. And then UConn, because those 3 were all pretty tight, with Houston losing and Iowa State losing, UConn now is back on the seesaw, or whatever you want to call it, back into the top of the South region as we head into this week.
So you mentioned it when we first brought you on. I mean, we were right around the corner from March. I mean, everyone is about to get that March Madness fever. But the one thing that everybody loves come March Madness time is kind of identifying that one mid-major, low-major team that can play Cinderella. I know this year a lot of people talking about St. Louis, Miami, Ohio. Is there a kind of mid-major, low-major team that you've seen that you really like what they could do come tournament time?
Well, again, St. Louis is an obvious one out of the A-10. They've had a really good year. Utah State is also a decent team that in the right draw could beat somebody. And you mentioned Miami of Ohio. I think if you start looking beyond that as a team that could potentially sneak in, another team out of the Mountain West, and this is assuming they finish strong and can get in, Santa Clara has played really well down the stretch here. They could be like an 11 seed or in a first 4 game if they get through that could be a pesky opponent for someone. I think South Florida out of the American, again, they're likely to be like a 12 seed, but every year those 12-5s are never easy games. And, they haven't had a big win, but they did beat Utah State. They played Alabama to, like an 11-point game in Tuscaloosa. And so, this is one of those things where I don't know that I would pick them. Belmont would be another one, or Stephen F. Austin that could be right on that 12 line, that can, get after it and score the basketball. And when we get to March, if you get a team that gets hot from three, that's where some of those upsets come. They stick around, they hang around, they start making some threes, and then all of a sudden the higher seed gets a little bit tight. So those are, like, right off the top of my head, some teams, if they get in, that might be worthy of a 12-5 or a 13-4 that's possibly something to take a look at.
Yeah, absolutely. Last thing for you, Dave, before we let you go, this Auburn team, they got a win finally on Saturday against Kentucky after rattling off a bunch of losses in a row. That Kentucky game, the way it played out down the stretch and at the end, have some people talking, but right now in your most recent bracket, the one that you put out on Friday, they were in the last four byes. What do you make of this Auburn team and kind of what you've seen? Obviously, getting a win was much needed on Saturday, but where is this Auburn team in your head right now?
Well, they're probably, going back into tomorrow now, they're going to be just above that, what we call the last four byes. So somewhere right along that 9-10 line. One thing to keep in mind about Auburn is they played the number one overall schedule in the country.
Wow.
So, the committee recognizes that. And, if you look at their non-conference slate, Michigan, Arizona, Purdue, Houston, North Carolina State, and Oregon, before we realized that Oregon wasn't going to have a very good year. So, that's a pretty strong stretch of non-conference games, some of those in Vegas. Now the down point is they did beat St. John's and NC State. They lost, the others had that real close game with Houston. So the other thing about Auburn, they have that win at Florida, which is, sort of one of those proverbial get-out-of-bubble-jail free cards, if you need it down the stretch. I think also Auburn's closing stretch gets a little bit easier now than it's been through the middle. So, they can't relax. They don't have anything locked up at this point. But if they take care of business down the stretch, beating Mississippi and LSU at home, and say if they can go on the road and beat Oklahoma, then that last game at Alabama probably maybe matters for the SEC seeding. But at that point, I think Auburn would pretty much, with their strength of schedule and other wins, be in their metrics, be a very likely team to get in.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a lot of fun to see how all of these teams close over these next couple of weeks. Dave, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you again next Monday.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your week.
Thanks, Dave. Right back at you. Dave Amon joining us, Bracket Guy Dave. Go check out his bracket. You can find it over at bracketville.wordpress.com. He will, like he said, we'll have that updated bracket out tomorrow. He's updating his bracket right now on Tuesdays and Friday, so I know he'll be watching that Houston-Kansas game really closely tonight to see what kind of last-minute changes he needs to make before putting that out tomorrow morning. But let's go ahead and get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Winton Road.
Are you a fraud-paying American? It's a fact that 1 in 4 honest, hard-working, tax-paying Americans has been a victim of identity theft. With LifeLock Identity Theft Protection, though, if your identity is stolen, they fix it guaranteed and get your money back. Last year, the IRS flagged over $16 billion in refunds for identity fraud. That's billions of dollars that could come from your salary, overtime, or second job. But this year, you don't need to stay a victim. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second for your personal information and alerts you to threats you could easily miss on your own. And if your information does fall into the wrong hands, only LifeLock has U.S.-based restoration specialists who are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. Because this tax season, fraud-paying American is something no American should have to claim. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. That's 40% off with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Injured in an accident?
NST is the way to go. Call 68370.
For more than 35 years, NST Injury Law has been fighting for Memphis families. When insurance companies try to delay, deny, or underpay, NST steps in to fight back. No fees unless you win.
NST is the way to go. Call 68370. They've got the fight, they've got the heart.
NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar-based. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Hey, Marty McNate, I hear you're searching for drivers wanted at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown.
We are, Randy. We've got something for every driver on the road.
Well, I can't wait to hear about it. Hit me.
How about sporty 2026 Jetta S, $277 a month?
That's a great deal. What else you got, McNate?
2026 Teos S, $327 a month.
Teos, $327 a month, and give me one more.
The Tiguan S, $355 a month.
Only $355 a month for Tiguan S.
We've got a ride for everyone at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown.
So if you want a great deal on Volkswagen, you know we Gossett.
So come see me, Marty McNate, at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com. And remember, your future is what you make it.
All 36 month lease, Jetta SM 104 280, MSRP 26426, Taos SM 6162, MSRP 27011, Jetta TM 5137, MSRP 25H20, Taos STM 108 191, MSRP 29101, Tiguan TMO 14510, MSRP 32585, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See for complete details. Offer ends 2/28/26, dealers.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says, I wish that I could.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy. What up, big guy? I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Darian, since you are our guest this week, I will let you go first with your big number, unless you don't have one.
Yeah, absolutely got one. I mean, it's pretty much low-hanging fruit. I was going back and forth between the number. But I'm going to go with the number 27. Either one of you guys 27 years old?
No, I'm 25.
Good. So I'm the only person that was alive when the UAB basketball team came to Memphis, played in the Tomb of Doom. You ever heard of the Pyramid, Mr. Landon?
Of course.
All right.
Bass Pro Shop.
Oh, look at you. Look at you with your little knowledge on you. But yeah,
Bowling alley.
Big number 27 for the number of years ago, or the duration or length of time that it has been since UAB has actually won a game in the 901, the Bluff City. Strange, man. Just strange when the historic numbers start going against you, you know. It gets kind of hard to defend your position, so to speak, being the head coach of the Memphis Tigers. But UAB, 27 years, a lot of young Tiger fans have never seen that team actually come to the city and get a victory, and they did it in grand fashion.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Kind of melancholy big number.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a lot more about this in our next segment to start the 5 o'clock hour.
Tomb of Doom.
About what happened yesterday, because we really haven't spent a lot of time on it, but obviously needed to move some schedules around with DeMichael. We appreciate him for that. But we'll talk a lot more about that game. But yeah, you're right. I mean, seeing the loss, and then on top of that, seeing that, hey, this hasn't happened since, what was it, 99? Is that what? 99. It hadn't happened since 99. Just really, really hard to believe.
I was going to bore you with the rosters and all that stuff, like who was on the team, but you guys wouldn't know.
The 99 season was not a particularly good year for the Tigers.
Tick Price.
That's
right. Price.
That's right. So I know that much, but I don't think I want to know anything more. Tigers were 13 and 15 that year.
Yep. I think they finished fourth in the CUSA that year. So pretty down.
Yeah, no, not great. Not great at all. My big number is the number 40. I've already mentioned this big number today, but on Big Mondays, Bill Self is 40-0 at home. I believe that's at home. It might be all time because 40 is a lot. They've just been terrific on Mondays, and now they're hosting Houston tonight. And we were kind of talking about it earlier with David Cobb. Houston has kind of struggled over the last week. Kansas coming off a loss against Cincinnati. One of these something's got to give games tonight, and I'm really excited. Hopefully we see a lot of Darren Peterson. I mentioned with him, and I don't know if you've noticed this because we've talked off air about Darren Peterson pretty much really since the start of the season.
He's a unicorn.
It's crazy. It's the most insane situation I've ever seen. But we've talked a lot about him, but it really feels like over the last week and a half, and I liked what David said of, hey, you know, March is around the corner, football's over, people are turning the TVs on, and they're seeing it. But this has been an issue all season, and so I'm hoping we see a lot of him tonight because, I mean, talk about just if you want to watch. Look, if you want to watch college basketball, if you're a college basketball fan, I don't need to sell you on Houston playing Kansas on a Monday night on ESPN. You're sold. And
if you're a novice, I mean, if you want to see a basketball young savant, he does everything right. But
that's the thing
with the basketball in his hands.
If you're just an NBA guy and you just want to watch these prospects, tonight you're talking about Kingston Flemings against Darren Peterson. If Darren Peterson can go and play and give you a lot of minutes, then I think tonight's game is going to be awesome. Obviously, if he's not able to go or he gives you, 18 minutes, then that's going to be the biggest story tomorrow.
26 points in 18 minutes in the first half, then he'll sit down. I know for a fact, no matter what happens tonight, Darren Peterson's going to be the biggest story in college basketball tomorrow. Absolutely. Whether he plays the entire game or if he pulls himself out. Darren Peterson's going to be the number one story in college basketball tomorrow. So we'll see. I'm excited about it. But that 40-0 record, it's on the line in a really tough one tonight against Houston. A statement he made earlier, last week, I believe, that's going to come back to bite him when speaking of Bill Self, he was just like, hey, man. And that was the most candid I've heard a coach be about, the load management or something. It's like, hey, we need you. You sit out one of these games during an NCAA tournament. Not only are you going to screw up a game, you're going to screw up a season. He called him out, man. Kudos to him.
That's the thing. There's a lot of people that say, hey, come NCAA tournament, this ain't going to be an issue. Like, NCAA tournament, he's going to push through. He's going to play through this, whatever. I mean, I hope so. Nothing we've seen tells me that, but we will see what it looks like.
Don't forget Chris C-Neck Jr.
He's a good player.
Who's actually rated higher than Flemings when he came out.
No, he's a good player. It hadn't been a terrific season for him. Kingston Fleming's obviously having the better season, but Snack is a really good player. I would not be mad if he's a guy that the Grizzlies drafted kind of mid-first round.
Wait all day to get lucky.
That's right. Yeah, no, we're going to get lucky, hopefully, tonight with this game.
He's there, Cowboy.
If Darren
Easy
Peterson.
there,
No, I'm talking about Darren
That's where you go,
Peterson.
John.
I know.
About the matchup with Darren Peterson and Kingston Flemings. Well, we're going to get to a break here in a second. Before we do that, let me remind you about Frontier Western Store. They're family-owned and operated since 1967. Frontier Western, they've been your one-stop shop for the biggest brands in Western wear. They're the one-stop shop for Carhartt in the Mid-South, but they've got all the other brands and pretty much anything you're looking for. Shorts, shirts, jeans, outerwear, whatever you need, they've got it. But if you need a new pair of jeans, Frontier Western is the place you need to get to. They've got all the brands from Ariat all the way down to Wrangler, and you'll love how easy it is to find the perfect size and style for you. While you're down there, check out Frontier's world-famous boot showroom. Whether it's work boots or dress boots, Frontier has you covered, and they've got you covered for your entire family with plenty of in-stock proven classics like Ariat, Dam Post, and Durango, and that's just to name a few. Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know you'll be getting the best deals. Head down there to 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Check out the entire selection. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. for Frontier Western Store. Well, let's wrap up this hour. When we return, we're talking all things Tigers and that loss last night against UAB. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Sports Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Air. We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home and office. Protect babies, pets, new homes, old homes, employees, friends, loved ones, and you. Just call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 for the Memphis Mold Inspector.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait, and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-780-3599. 800-780-3599. 800-780-3599.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. Drivers wanted! Drivers wanted! If you're looking for a new ride, we Gossett at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. How about sporty 2026 Jetta S, $277 a month? We Gossett! 2026 Taos S is only $327 a month. $327 a month for Taos S. How about Tiguan S at only $355 a month? We Gossett! $355 a month for Tiguan S. You want a new ride? ride, we got you covered at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. Remember, it's not a new ride if it's not from Gossett, so get to Gossett Volkswagen today, 1875 Covington Pike, or online, GossettVWMemphis.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36 month lease, Jetta SM 104-280, MSRP 26,426, Taos SM 6162, MSRP 27,011, Jetta TM 5137, MSRP 25,820, Taos STM 108,191, MSRP 29,101, Tiguan TMO 14510, MSRP 32,585, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 2/28/26, dealer stock only.
We all want the best without having to pay the most. That's where Verizon comes in. Get this. Now you can take your AT&T or T-Mobile bill into any Verizon store. They'll look at what you're paying and give you a better deal, period. You get the amazing coverage you want while keeping more cash in your pocket. Visit your local Verizon store to start saving today. Must provide recent consumer mobile bill in the name of the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms and conditions apply.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Cranking up pretty good over here right now on 240 East as you come past Mill Branch. Getting off on the 385 Bill Morris Parkway, pretty much typical as that really starts to build out in that area, especially on Bill Morris coming past Riverdale. Trying to get south of Memphis, been a challenge on and off with a little bit of radar now. That was earlier. Just be careful on 55 trying to slide down through DeSoto County. Hey, check out the cats and dogs that are available right now for adoption at the Humane Society of Memphis Shelby County. Go to their website. It's memphishumane.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, with Dave Woloshin, weekday mornings from 10 to 11. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
The best deal on that new Chevy Silverado you want is right there in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. You will love financing as low as 1.9. Go big with the Silverado HD 2500 and get 3.9 and no payments for 90 days. Same with the new 26 Equinox 3.9, no payment for 90 days. Your good credit deserves it, and you get it at All-Star. Military and first responders, you always get that extra $500 bonus. If you want certified, barely driven Chevys, All-Star is the place to be. Come check out the huge, and I'm talking gigantic selection of certified Chevys and the hottest pre-owns you can find anywhere in the same place in our area. Tahoe, Suburbans, Traverse with third row seat, and yes, Silverados. If you got any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star and Olive Branch and get the most money back for it, whether you bought it there or not. Together, let's drive down Highway 78 to All-Star in Olive Branch, where all the Chevys are, where all the deals are. For more information, you can always go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant, Darian, Landon with you as we start our third and final hour on this Monday afternoon. And we've got to talk the Tigers, all things Tigers in this first segment after that loss against UAB yesterday. We'd love to hear from you. Sissy's Log Cabin listener line, 901-360-8255. Calls or text, direct them to the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line. Again, 901-360-8255. Would love to hear your thoughts on the Tigers and what happened yesterday. Darian, I know you were watching that game yesterday. It was a game where I guess we can start with what you brought up with David Cobb. It started with the American
around the world.
Yeah, the American put out their player availability report early in the morning. The only Tiger on it, which we talked about this, there were two Tigers on it because for whatever reason, even though Hassan Abdul-Hakim is no longer on the team, the rest of the season, every game, he's going to be listed as out for the year, even though he's not on the team. So he's on there, but then Aaron Bradshaw is listed as questionable. And Jason Munz tweets it out, our friend Jason. He tweets it out and says, listed as questionable, don't know if he'll play or not. Then, as we got closer to tip-off and the teams are out warming up on the court, Jason tweets again and basically says, doesn't look like Aaron's going to go today. He is not participating in the pregame layup lines or whatever. So then he quote tweets that again when the game starts, and obviously Aaron Bradshaw is out there for the opening tip and said, just kidding, Aaron Bradshaw is starting today. And then just 38 seconds later, he subbed out. So someone on Twitter commented under that post from Jason Munz and said he subbed because AB is hurt and wanted to see if he could play, and he couldn't, so Penny pulled him out. So Jason Munz quote tweeted that yesterday. Said Bradshaw told the staff he was not able to play, but somehow there was a mix-up and Bradshaw was announced as a starter. Rather than making the situation even more confusing, AB went out and played as long as he could, then had to come out. So Aaron Bradshaw was not going to play yesterday. According to Jason Munz, told at least somebody on the staff, I can't go today, but there was a mix-up. I wasn't there, so I don't know. Was he sitting? Did they tell him before the starting lineup was announced? Because you've seen plenty of teams announcing the starting lineups. Everyone knows the 5 guys are going to sit there that are in the starting lineup, and then everyone else is standing.
Kind of makes the tunnel.
Kind of makes the tunnel. So was AB standing in the tunnel, and then there's starting at center, Aaron Bradshaw, and he's like, oh, let me go, hey, and then went out there? Or did they tell him before, hey, Aaron, you're going to be announcing the starters. We didn't know you were going to go. And then he's sitting there and he comes off.
Because you got to think, if he thought he wasn't playing, to be 100% suited up,
Well, I think that was the thing. It was going to be a game time decision. I think Jason tweeted out. You could go and find it, I'm sure. But he tweeted something out where on the pregame show, Penny Hardaway during his interview with Dave Woloshin said, Aaron's gonna go out there and warm up. We're gonna see how he's doing, and then we'll make a decision on if he's gonna play or not. So this was quite literally a game time decision on if Aaron Bradshaw is gonna go or not. And I guess at some point in the couple minutes leading up, he said, I can't go. There was some sort of mix up. Obviously, they've got to write down who the starters are and give it to the PA guy. So there is a time buffer where, and they post them on the stats pretty early. So I don't know what that looks like, or when you have to put in your starting lineup. But somewhere between then and either before or after Aaron Bradshaw came in, my guess is that they put in the starters. Someone thought Aaron's going to be good to go, and then after they submitted the starting lineup, he said, I can't play, and then it was kind of like or maybe they couldn't figure it out, or he told somebody, and along the chain it got messed up.
Really confusing stuff, dude.
Very confusing stuff.
It just continues for the irony of the season, and you kind of wonder how a team comes in here and pull out a victory where they haven't in over 25 years. It was 27 years. I'll tell you how. Last week we were talking about free throw shooting, rebounding. The Tigers lost every category from a statistical standpoint except for field goals and field goal percentage, in which, strangely enough, they were tied with UAB. The only statistic I see that the Tigers actually had a favorable deal or actually won was blocks, and they had 6 blocks over 5 over UAB. But the free throw line, again, 72%, 64%. The Blazers get to the line 25 times. The Tigers only get there 14 times. Rebounds, again, telling stat, 31 to 27. Not as bad. The offensive rebounds, 9 to 7. Assists, I mean, you can just go on and on. 12 steals to 7 steals. Tigers even led in turnovers, 15 turnovers to 10. It was a recipe for disaster.
Well, and I'm glad you brought up the rebounds, because, and we've said this today multiple times, the issues that we're seeing with this Tiger team, it's nothing new. You turn on a Tiger game.
It's the trend now. We are who we thought they were.
You can turn on especially these last 4 losses. Turn on a Tigers game, and I can tell you exactly what's going to happen and what's going to go wrong with this team. They can't rebound. They're going to go on a long stretch where they can't make a shot.
Yep.
And
Doug McDaniel will hit a shot and do a flex, and we'll still lose.
And I don't want to knock Doug today, because Doug was actually really good in that second half. The only reason that they made it a 3-point game was because of how well Doug was shooting. So I don't want to knock Doug. Today's not the day.
This will be the day. You're right. You're actually right.
Plenty of days.
You're
the last
100%
couple weeks
right. I thought about that, but I guess that was seasonal for me. Like that was
sure.
Strangely, we could be getting blown out at any moment, and the guy will hit a 3 and just start flexing. It's like
what bothers me is that this is a Tigers team that can't rebound against teams that have 7-footers out there. They can't rebound against teams that their biggest guy is 6'8". There have been multiple times, this conference in particular, and I'm not one to want to go out there and run down the conference every time we talk. It's not a great conference.
Fair enough, but correct.
But there are teams out here that, like, even though these teams, and this is coming from a guy that loves watching mid-major basketball, choose a mid-major game over some high-major games. But there are teams out here that are going to fight. And Memphis has seen a lot of teams that are fighting. The difference between this Memphis team and previous Memphis teams, they don't fight. They have no fight in them, and I think you're seeing that especially in the rebound category. Let's look at this UAB team. UAB, because there has been a lot of teams in the American this year that you look at the roster that they throw out there, the starting five they throw out there, the biggest guy that's starting is 6'8", 6'9" Max last night.
Max.
And this isn't I don't know, I could pull up the starting lineup. I'm just on KenPom right now, and on KenPom, they have a depth chart over the last 5 games. You look at who is listed as the starting 5 on this depth chart for UAB. The tallest guy is 6'8". There's one. This is their starting lineup: 6'6", 6'2", 6'4", 6'7", 6'8". Now, it might have been a little different last night. I don't know. I'm just looking at their depth chart over the last 5 games on KenPom. So,
I see just one guy holistically top 6'10" or taller.
On their roster or on their starting
on the
5?
UAB roster.
Yeah. They've got one guy.
One.
And I don't even see
Chagas
him on here.
Yao Da Chagas, number 3.
He hasn't played, I guess. What year is he?
Junior.
He must not have played because I'm looking.
6'10", 250.
Yeah, I mean, KenPom doesn't have KenPom on their right, and these are only guys that have listed have played minutes and have stats. Is what's listed on
Brazilian
here.
player, so he may not.
The tallest guy on UAB that has logged minutes this year is 6'8". They have 2 6'8" guys. Other than that, they're under 6'8", and so you get to a point there where it's how much do you want it? You look at a lot of these offensive rebounds that they're allowing. I mean, go back to South Florida, go to this UAB game. It's really, do you want it more than this other team? And I think this Memphis team has shown they don't really want it that bad.
Yeah, and you can kind of tell last night. I forget. Was that? Let me see. I forget which player that was. I'm trying to see if I recognize.
UAB grabbed
face
11 offensive rebounds last night. I think Memphis actually Memphis had 9 offensive rebounds. UAB grabbed 11 offensive rebounds and scored 11. They scored 6 second chance points. So they didn't always capitalize on their second chance points. And this is a UAB offense that has been not great at all. But they had some guys that stepped up in the first half. Who was the kid that was just making everything?
Hit the 18 points.
Evan Chapman.
That was for one. Do you know he hadn't scored 18
that
points?
That was his career high.
For sure. And
forever.
He got it in the
Not
first
just
half.
a career high for the first half. That was career high forever. And he had that in the first half. He was 4 for 5 from 3,
Forever.
7 for 8 from the field in that game, and grabbed some. But they had a big guy, and I don't remember who it was.
I think that was because it started dunking towards the end. That's what I was trying to get at. Like he just said, you know what? I'm dunking everything else.
And it wasn't like he had these
lot of
flashy
resistance.
moves,
Nope.
all that stuff.
He would spin off of them, boom,
and then he was right there in front of the
Or he would make a cut on the baseline. They would give him a bounce pass, and boom. It's like,
and that's effort.
No resistance.
I mean, that is effort, and that's defense. And another thing that jumped out to me was something that Penny Hardaway said after the game. I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but he said something along the lines of how he was disappointed of how they played against the zone when they've had some success against the zone recently. And so I don't really know what he meant by that. I don't know if he was caught off guard that they saw zone against UAB, but UAB has been pretty consistent. They're going to play zone against you. Andy Kennedy is going to run zone. So I don't know what he meant by that, but I think is a good point of this team just continues to struggle with zone, and it's not just this year's team. It's been an issue with Penny Hardaway's
That's
teams.
other teams go to stop us.
But that's the thing is, teams are going to throw zone at you, whether they're going to play a zone the entire game or they're going to start in man and then kind of start throwing different zones at you. You know you're going to see some zone, and so the fact that we're this far into the season and Penny Hardaway's talking about how they were kind of caught off guard by the zone and they didn't handle the zone well.
I found
you're
going
to play zone.
I found a quote for you from Penn, but it's not that one. It's kind of in the same vein where it just says, quote, "This is not on anybody but us. It's on me to get it right. It's on us to go out and compete."
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, it's
the effort deal. He saw it.
Yeah, I think effort is the biggest thing that you saw, and you look at Really going into this game, and I should say this is a good opportunity to bring up Tiger Bankroll, because we did have Tiger Bankroll over the weekend with a Sunday game. We did not make our picks until we were off air, and let me find those real quick for our Tiger Bankroll. So Brett came off the top rope in Tiger Bankroll. We played it off. I know it closed as Memphis as a 6.5-point favorite, but when we played it, it was Memphis as a 4.5-point favorite. Brett took the Tigers for $500. Memphis minus 4.5 for $500. I took UAB plus 4.5 for $25. Landon took UAB for $30. So that means me and Landon were the big winners over the weekend. Brett, the big loser over the weekend. So now a Tiger Bankroll update. I'm in the lead right now. I'm 16-11 on the year picking the Tigers. I'm at $1,190. Landon is in second place. He's 11-16 picking the Tigers. He is at $880 this year. And Brett currently in third place, 10-17 on the year picking these games. He has $360 after throwing the big 500 on the Tigers. Thinking about this game going into it, I saw the line at 4.5.
Yeah.
And this UAB team, I think we talked about it on Friday. Explain to me, and I would love for anybody to explain to me, how in the world, any team in the country, I don't care what conference you're playing in, I don't care what level of basketball you're playing, how in the world is a team undefeated on the road in conference play? And with that win yesterday, UAB is 8-0 on the road in conference play. They are 1-6 at home in conference play. Explain that to me.
The only thing I can tell you is, just from playing basketball, it's a different kind of tension. It's a different kind of anxiety when you're playing in front of teachers, mothers, girlfriends, that home court. When you are away, it is us against the world. That's the only thing I can obviously say.
I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in high school, and that's the last time I actually played with an actual real referee besides like AAU ball and stuff like that. Best game I ever had was on the road. So it wasn't at home. It was actually on the road. And I guess mentally, it kind of is you band together. You look in the stands. There's not the pressure of, there's my girlfriend, there's my little brother, there's my mother. They got signs for me. Win the game, son. It's just go and play. You're not thinking. You just go and play.
So looking at who they've beaten on the road, they have wins over South Florida, which we just saw with Memphis down at South Florida, how good that team is and how tough they are. Now, South Florida also beat them in Birmingham. They have a win over Tulane on the road. They have a win over North Texas on the road. They have a win against Tulsa on the road. They beat Temple on the road. Those are, now you look at that, South Florida, North Texas, Tulsa. Memphis has lost at all three of those places on the road, at those three places. Temple, usually a very tough place to play on the road. And then they beat Tulane on the road. I mean, those are some tough places to play. It's kind of weird. And then at home, they've lost to Wichita State, Florida Atlantic, Tulsa, South Florida, Memphis, and Tulane at home. So, I mean, they've played some, in terms of the American, those are the tougher teams in the American. They haven't gotten an East Carolina or a UTSA or a Rice at home. They've played some tough competition at home, which certainly hurts. But
you know what that'll lend itself to? A good tourney team.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and they were talking about this. They were joking about this.
It's at home.
They were joking about this on the broadcast, but it's not at their home arena. It's not at Bartow Arena.
Okay.
It's at somewhere. I don't know the name of the place on the top of my head, but they're playing. It's at a different gym. It's at Legacy Arena in Birmingham. Okay. So they were joking on the broadcast yesterday. What does that mean? So they're terrible at home, but the tournament games, because they made that joke of that means that usually would probably bode well for conference tournament, but the conference tournament's in Birmingham. So then they were like, well, what does that mean? Because it's not in there. Is the bad juju attached to the city of Birmingham, or is it attached to just Bartow Arena?
No, I would tell you it's the gym. From a basketball player, because the depth perception, a different gym is a different gym. It's attached to the gym.
I guess so. I mean, it is the strangest thing ever. I mean, I really cannot even understand how that happens. But Tigers are just not in a great spot right now in terms of really anything. I do think it starts with effort, but again, we saw the long scoring droughts that they find themselves in, where they're just allowing these other teams to go on big time scoring runs. And you look in that first half yesterday where Tigers are, it's back and forth. Tigers go up by 4, and after that, they give up a 10-0 run. Yeah. They call that a kill shot in college basketball, because you let a team go on a 10-0 run, they get all the momentum, and now they're in the lead, and it's really hard after you give up that type of thing. Then you kind of, you're able to get a couple baskets. You're giving up some three-pointers. I mean, it felt like UAB could not miss three-pointers yesterday. Then you give up another 5-0 run. Yeah. You close the first half on a 4-0, or they close the first half on a 4-0 run, to make it a 16-point game at the half. And so it's just these big runs that they can't give up. Now, on the flip side of that, the Tigers go on a 12-0 run in the second half to, in part of making that a 3-point game. But then, yet again, you give up a 9-0 run, and then you score 4 points, and you give up another 5-0 run. So these late game scoring droughts, it feels like we've talked about it all year long. I mean, I'm thinking going back to Vanderbilt and Mississippi State and in some of these non-conference games where it felt like, hey, you have a opportunity here to get a big-time win, but every single time they fell short in those final couple of minutes. So just a really, really strange...
How soon does Penny start looking towards next year?
I think he already has. He's not going to say that because...
And that's what I'm asking, not like publicly, but the phone calls, this is over with. I have to produce next year.
I think we've talked about it. When you look at this roster, there are a handful of guys that have an opportunity to come back.
Who would you think? Looking at the roster.
Well, I'm just talking about guys that have eligibility left.
Oh, okay. Not that he would want back. Okay.
Sure.
Just eligibility.
Now, I do think there are guys on this team that he would bring back. I mean, I think you look at the two local guys, Curtis Givens and Julius Stedford. I think those guys.
I think Ashton's done.
Would absolutely. Right? Look, I see a lot of people knock Ashton.
I don't know.
Ashton is. No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I was like, no, I'm not knocking them.
There are big Ashton haters out there. Yeah. I think in this
better than his brother.
No, he's no doubt better than his
brother. Okay, good.
I view Ashton very similarly to how I view Santi in terms of how people talk about him. Yeah. Santi gets it from all types of Grizzlies fans. Yeah, man, can't stand Santi Aldama. But he goes out there and he does some nice things, and he's a good player. I really think Ashton's kind of the same way. Where and I remember DeMichael saying this to us. Santi's mistakes are loud. Like when Santi makes a mistake, it doesn't take a basketball expert to say that was a mistake right there. I think Ashton is very similar, where Ashton's mistakes are very loud, and it's not even it's kind of a lot of things that go into it. He's Penny's son, and he just kind of, some of the mistakes he makes are
falls asleep sometimes.
Sure, kind of boneheaded at times. But I do think I'll watch Ashton, and there will be times where I'm like, man, that guy's making good plays. Like, he's making good decisions. He's in a good spot. Like, I wouldn't hate it if Ashton came back. I think there are people out there that would not really love it. Yeah. I think that, like I said, the two local guys with Curtis and Julius Stedford, Quante Berry, like if he's back next year, I think he could be a solid piece. I think he has another year of eligibility.
See, someone for like a Givens that has already, seen what out of town feels and looks like it on a D1 level. I think he probably sits back and thinks about going elsewhere.
Could
because of the pressure of being home.
Sure.
Like you said, dad in the crowd, dad's this big figure. When he messes up, he's Lil Curtis. Like, I don't know if you noticed on Terry Davis, and I was giving Terry crap about that when we talked to him earlier on Happy Hour with John Hart. And I said, you put Lil Curtis on your post? Like, he said, that's his name, ain't it?
It is.
I said, that's his name. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anywhere else in America, he's not known as Lil Curtis.
He's Curtis Givens.
He's Curtis Givens the third. So, to get your character back, who you are as a basketball player, you get out of the city and it's like, I don't have to deal with
everybody's certainly different. And I don't know how those two guys
I don't know
are.
how you think so.
So, I think it's definitely, I think, but what I'm saying is, I do think, whether he's having these conversations with people or not, I think Penny Hardaway, when he's watching film, when he's kind of sitting back looking at things, I think he is starting to probably look and say, Would love to get Curtis back.
And I will be 100% fair, and we'll say it on air and forever go down in the record books with this one. He knows what he's up against now. Like we were talking Friday about the final warning. I don't think Ed Scott has to give you a final warning. If you don't produce next year, I have to turn a blind eye to it. And if, the guillotine comes down on 1 cent, it is what it is.
I'll tell you another guy, and I don't know, he's probably not back next year. I would actually be really surprised if he is back. But I do want to give him credit because over these last couple of games, you want to just talk about a guy that plays hard and is hustling out there. Maybe not the best player. William Wharton, he gets out there. The last couple of games, he's seen more minutes because of the Bradshaw injury.
That's my big guy, right?
Well, he's not super. No, you're probably thinking of Tariq Ingram.
Ingram, yeah, because I called him Ingraham. No, Ingram, yep.
Wharton's kind of the light skinned guy who number 12. He really only gets out there. He's played 17 games and has made 4 starts. He hasn't played much, but
my boy coming like Nathaniel Root.
I mean, he just kind of gets out there and he gives effort. He's he certainly is very raw, but he's out there at least hustling, and that's kind of what I want to see with this group.
I got a text message that said, Darian, your penny ain't worth a dime.
Wow. Well, that is true. Pennies aren't worth a dime, but I like that.
Pennies aren't worth anything anymore, unfortunately. They don't make them anymore.
That is true, but we need to get to a break. I do want to talk a lot of just college basketball when we come back for What's Trending, but I do want to talk a little bit about the American Conference Tournament because we are only a couple weeks away of what it looks like. Tigers right now, if the season ended, would be the number 7 seed. So we'll talk a little bit about that, about the American, and then we'll talk more college basketball in general, but we'll do all of that next during What's Trending.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show? No! Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders, your roofing and restoration resource. With single-digit temperatures and ice moving in, frozen pipes and ice dams don't give you much time to react. A busted pipe can flood walls, ceilings, and floors in minutes. And the real damage is often hidden behind drywall, insulation, and cabinets. That trapped moisture can lead to mold fast. Right now, Metro Builders Memphis is delivering immediate emergency water mitigation and response day or night. We can stop the water, document the damage, and help prevent long-term issues before they spread. If you see water stains, sagging ceilings, or active leaks, don't wait. Call us before mold spores spread. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. Metro Builders, your roofing and restoration resource. Metro Builders, we don't just build, we build world class. Book us online at metrobuildersmemphis.com. metrobuildersmemphis.com.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Your home is your best investment, so why not make it the best it can be with help from Gates Lumber? Start with your front door, serving 2 purposes, curb appeal and security. Gates has solid construction doors built for security, durability, and beauty. See and compare wood, steel, and fiberglass options side by side at Gates Showroom. It's easier to choose when you can see and touch real doors with real assistance from knowledgeable staff helping you choose the right door for your home and budget. So don't just replace your door, upgrade your protection, and Gates Lumber is the right choice. Family owned and operated, serving you for over 100 years with free estimates, free delivery, competitive prices, and quality products. Call 901-942-3201, go to gateslumber.com, or come by their showroom, 1253 South Bellevue Boulevard. Gates Lumber, celebrating over 100 years with a passion for craftsmanship since 1920.
Your Memphis Tiger men's basketball team is back home for another conference showdown. The Tigers face Wichita State Thursday, February 26th at 8 o'clock inside FedEx Forum. It's our fan appreciation game. We're celebrating you. The first 3,000 fans receive a glow stick, and the first 1,000 will score a Doug McDaniel trading card. Plus, don't miss a special halftime performance by Red Panda Acrobat. Don't miss the action. Get your tickets by visiting GoTigersGo.com and grab your seats today. Go Tigers Go!
This traffic report brought to you by City Center Liquor just off Highway 70 in Lakeland. Local, friendly, and always fully stocked. For a 5% discount, tell them Sports 56 sent you.
Sports 56 traffic.
Well, good evening. T-Dot's out here wrapping up a couple of wrecks. It's heavy now right on schedule. 40 going eastbound as you come past Germantown Parkway. All that traffic this time of the evening headed on out into Fayette County. Be careful with radar out there just past New Airline Road on I-40. It's cranking up pretty good coming off 240 on to 385. Bill Morris Parkway continues to build going outbound. Hey, bridal season just around the corner. You know where to shop. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck when you're on time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back again to Sports Time. Bryant, Darian, Landon with you as we got a little bit less than 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending. Ron texted in earlier, missed this earlier, so appreciate the text, Ron. He said, yes, having to pay players hurts penny recruiting. You were talking about that earlier with David Cobb. It absolutely does. The game has changed so much, and I really do think no matter what you do, you're seeing more and more teams. I saw there was a tweet out, and I probably am not going to be able to find it now. I think, because Drew Hill was the one that quote tweeted or had the story about Memphis needs to hire a general manager for Penny Hardaway. And I think here it is. Somebody tweeted out and said, I'm trying to figure out where this starts, but it starts somewhere. And someone commented on a tweet by this guy, Kyle Tucker, who covers college basketball for CBS Sports, and said, Kyle, what is your opinion on college basketball teams hiring general managers? Do you think they are necessary amidst today's college basketball landscape? As a Kentucky fan, I am slightly concerned with Pope's ability to recruit and evaluate talent, but I think it's also important not to push an unnecessary narrative. So he quote tweeted that and said, the current KenPom top four, Michigan, Duke, Arizona, and Illinois, all have a general manager. I reckon that's anecdotal, but I'd probably go ahead and have a general manager. I also saw, and do not ask me the name and do not ask me anything else because I have nothing, and I don't remember where I heard this today, but the University of Indiana, the Hoosiers, they have hired, and they're not calling him a general manager. I don't know what his title is going to be, but they are going to bring in some guy with some title, and he has been in the scouting department for the Pacers for the last 6 years. And now he went to Indiana, and now he's going to go back to Indiana, and he's going to basically be their general manager.
Primarily basketball, no football.
No, just basketball.
Responsibility.
He's been with the Pacers. He's just going to be basketball with Indiana. So whether you want to name him a general manager or whether you want to again, if UConn, Dan Hurley, and Michigan, and Arizona and Illinois, if those four teams have a general manager to take that pressure off the head coach, again, like, I don't know if it's feasible for Memphis. It might not be.
It is.
Is it? I don't know.
Something like that. The reason I would push back on that is not feasible is because we have the FedExes, the big backers that can get a person like that with that type of salary. Not sure what it would be, but I'm pretty sure it's nowhere near what Penn is getting, if you see what I'm saying.
Sure.
That it has to be decent, and I think we can do decent well. We just can't, get $4 million players like Toppin and DeBonson.
And I said UConn. I meant Duke was in there. Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and Illinois. But I do think UConn has a general manager on their coaching staff. So here's the thing, because I hear so many people talk about, well, will Penny Hardaway listen to a GM? Will he take that advice? Because again, we've seen the turnover with the assistant coaches.
That's about being savvy and forward thinking too, and not being stubborn. If you have done this for 8th going into your 9th year, you have to be open to all things. Mm-hmm. Like you have to. Otherwise, your demise is waiting, because your faithful people are waiting to turn on you. Mm-hmm. They are. At this moment.
Yeah. So I just think that it is much harder now, because and really, you get to the transfer portal. And it's like, boom, 1,000 players have entered the transfer portal. And so now and all these sites have their rankings, and this guy's the greatest player in the transfer portal. This guy's the greatest player in the transfer portal. And so it's really hard, trying to, you just finished your season. You've been spending all season coaching. Now you're trying to figure out your own roster. What are the guys on your current roster going to do? Are they going to stay? Are they leaving? What are they doing? Are you trying to bring those guys back? Now on top of that, you're trying to keep up with the transfer portal and all this stuff. Look, I am no coach. I am nowhere near
But you sound like a GM right now.
Not only the resources they have, nothing. I try to keep up, especially with college basketball, with the transfer portal. It's impossible. I mean, there is no way you can keep up with all of these names. Correct. And so, if you can go out there and bring on somebody,
it gives you a head start, man.
And maybe it's not that. Maybe you can try to, if you're trying to ball out on a budget. Yeah. Maybe you can bring in a guy where his main role is to identify and do all of this stuff, but also on the side he does this as well. Yeah. Maybe you can do that. But I do think, whether it's Memphis or any team in the country, name them whatever you want. I do think you need somebody on the coaching staff to go out there, and your whole job is roster building.
And you know how you handle it? It's really simple. See, that's why I love having you across from me. It's really simple, because I was putting it together as you were speaking, and you basically told us why he needed the reasons you kind of rallied off. But what you do is, once you hire that person, you sit he or her in a room with Penny. Penny has to know what he wants first. Mm-hmm. I need X guard, this height, these are my parameters. Shooting percentages, like Penny has to come in there with some kind of savviness to say, I'm talking numbers. I'm not just saying 6'5", left-handed, see you later. No, I need a tall guy that's pretty close to 90, 40, 50, X, Y, and Z. Then that person has to comprise a list, like you said Friday. Hey, Penn, that conversation we had 2 weeks ago, here's your list. Pick your guys.
Yeah,
and that gives him his head start, right?
Of the Moneyball scene. You've seen Moneyball, right? Where Jonah Hill's character is on the board, and he's like, "This is so and so. He does this. The only downside is whatever."
Or even a commercial. I forget the commercial, but it's a football commercial. I think it's like one of those AI commercials where it starts with like 10 guys, and he tells AI, "Give me a guy that's 200 pounds, and then give me a guy that's going to make plays," and then narrowed it down to one. And, but you have to have that person. That person gives you such a head start, whether he wants it or not. Ed Scott, I mean, we kind of need to start pounding the table. Ed Scott, you have to do this for him because he's from Memphis. All of us are built like that. I don't need any help. I'll continue to rotate my friends and whatnot in this assistant coach chair next to me. Someone has to save him from himself because we want to see him win.
No, definitely. So, I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of interesting discussions and talk, through the rest of the season and into the off season about what it looks like next year for Memphis basketball. But I do think kind of your ultimate question, and I don't remember if you asked it to start this segment or last segment, but I do think Penny Hardaway is looking at this roster and kind of trying to, and I think he should. Like you said, I think you have to. And David Cobb was saying that you have to be kind of forward thinking.
This is boom or bust, though.
No, it is. Right? It absolutely. I think so. I mean, look,
it's not a honeymoon, but if we fired Larry Finch, Penny is not above reproach.
Yeah, I mean, I think you absolutely don't want to get to a point where you have to fire him.
Because to my knowledge, Larry Finch got to a championship game, and he was beat by the great Bill Walton.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what happens. I think, again, there's going to be a lot of conversations and a lot of things that happen. I do want to just take a couple minutes to talk about the weekend in college basketball. We've got 2 really fun games tonight with Big Monday, the second game we've talked about with Kansas and Houston. But over the weekend, some really fun results. We talked about that kind of Final Four feel. And I thought we got 2 great games. It was Arizona and Houston earlier in the afternoon. Arizona gets the 73-66 win on the road. Just a really, really big-time win for Arizona to go into the Fertitta Center and pick up that win over Houston. It was rocking, and now Houston looks up, and they've had a little bit of a struggle over the last couple of games. You look at Jaden Bradley, who's been around for a while. He was really good in that game with 17 points, but they get a guy coming off the bench, Arizona does, 22 points in 34 minutes. So a really, really impressive performance there. Duke, a 68-63 win over Michigan. This Duke team is for real. I don't know. I mean, they could be kind of the same as last year where they fall short in the Final Four or something like that. But looking at this team, it feels like they've got the billing of Elite Eight, Final Four, maybe even national championship caliber team. I know everyone talks about Cam Boozer and what can he be in the NBA. That guy is incredible. Yeah. I mean, he is just so much fun to watch.
He's been a top player, or at least been competing at a top level since he was 13, 14 years old.
Yeah, he's been awesome. And obviously, having Carlos Boozer as a father, he already kind of knows how the league operates and how it works. But that was a fun game between Michigan and Duke. Both sides showed some really nice things in that game.
Can I throw Arizona a bone?
Sure.
Koa didn't play, and he's out the next couple of games. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he's out the next couple of games, and I think they're being cautious with him. He's not out for the season. If he plays, they win. Because if you think about it, Houston, if he is not on that's right. Yeah, that's right. Arizona. I was mixing my bad. Yeah, they won. Yeah, you're right. Disregard.
But Koa Pete, I'm glad you brought him up because there has been some talk about him and what he has done as a freshman. It's funny to me because he's still averaging like 13 points and a handful of rebounds. I don't know exactly what he's averaging.
I started watching him because of you. By the way.
I love Koa Pete, and if he's a guy that the Grizzlies draft in the first round, I'd be fine. So this is his stat line right now: 13.8 points, 5.4 rebounds. He's not shooting the ball very well. He's shooting 33.3% from three, 54.2% though from the field as a whole. I mentioned 5.4 rebounds, 2.6 assists as a forward. Like free throw percentage at 60%. Would love to see that get better. But this isn't a bad season by him at all. Like, he's having a fine season, but it's the fact that look around at what all the other freshmen are doing around the country. He's got another freshman on his team, Burries, who has been phenomenal.
Actually, a top 10 recruit, I believe.
I think so. I think both those guys were really high up there.
Shocked at it.
But he's been phenomenal. So it's like you're having a good season, but every other freshman in the country is having unbelievable seasons. And so it's like, he's been bad, but I don't think he's been bad. I think he'll still, but he could be. I think we talked to Keith Smith last Thursday, and Keith Smith was kind of saying there's gonna be somebody in this draft class that's projected to go in the first round right now that looks around and says, you know what, this draft is loaded. I didn't have an unbelievable season this year. I'm going to go back to college for a year. And if I really capitalize on another year of development and stay in the system or whatever, I could go out there and be the number one pick in 2027. Cole Pete, he could fall in that category, especially with this injury, depending on what it turns into and what it becomes.
Go ahead and pull a Dante Moore from Oregon.
Koa Pete could certainly be a guy that right now, let's pull up Tankathon. Right now, Koa Pete is projected.
I think with him out right now, he's late teens, right?
17. He's actually projected to go 17 to the Grizzlies with that Orlando pick. So he could be looking here and going, I'm mocked to go 17th.
I want to go deal with that stuff in Memphis. They got bad hotels.
I want to go to those dirty hotels.
Dirty hotels.
I go back to college. I come out in 2027. I'm absolutely a top 5 pick. Top 10, certainly. I mean, but you look at 2027 draft, it's not very good at all. So that was really fun. The last thing I wanted to mention is BYU. Everyone talking about their shooter that was got injured and is going to be out the season. They've really struggled against this top tier in opponents. AJ DeBonzo put the team on his back. a unbelievable game by them. They get a 79-69 win over Iowa State. A.J. DeBonza, 29 points. He was 10 for 17 from 3, 2 for 4 from 3, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 assist shy from a triple-double. He added 1 steal and 1 block. He was all over the place in that game. I mean, looked like the number 1 pick.
I heard one advantage. One official was talking about him earlier today. A lot of times you get these highly talented guys like the Darren Petersons and whatnot, and they play only 1 year of USA basketball.
Yeah.
Do you know how many? See, you're a cheat code. Do you know how many? And I'm holding it up in front of you. Let me stop.
I was going to say 2. I didn't know.
It was actually 3. He played 3 summers of USA basketball. AJ DeBarson. So what that official was basically saying, he gave up his AAU circuit time to play against guys that will eventually be in the pros. So he's legit. That's what he was saying. Like, you're not on those teams if you're not legit, for one. You're not invited back for 2. And to compete at a very high level summer after summer, he's like, don't bet against him. So.
Yeah, no, I think he's a really talented player and certainly looked the part in that game Saturday night. But we need to get to our final break of the day. When we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Moe's Crunch Time.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
Get to the Landers Center for NBA G League action as the Memphis Hustle hosts the Greensboro Swarm tomorrow night. See who's up next with the Memphis Hustle. Tip-off for this matchup is set for 7 p.m. Grab your tickets today at memphishustle.com.
Drivers wanted, drivers wanted. If you're looking for a new ride, we Gossett at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. How about sporty 2026 Jetta S, $277 a month? We Gossett. 2026 Taos S is only $327 a month. $327 a month for Taos S. How about Tiguan S at only $355 a month? We Gossett. $355 a month for Tiguan S. You want a new ride? We got you covered at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. Remember, it's not a new ride if it's not from Gossett, so get to Gossett Volkswagen today, 1875 Covington Pike, or online, GossettVWMemphis.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, Jetta SM 104-280, MSRP 26,426, Taos SMO 6162, MSRP 27,011, Jetta TM 5137, MSRP 25,820, Taos STM 108,191, MSRP 29,101, Tiguan TMO 14510, MSRP 32,585, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, excludes tax on a license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 2/28/26, dealer stock only.
I can't tell you the number of times I've heard people tell me that they wanted to wait until spring to put their home on the market. This is Sheldon Rosengarten at Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and think about it. In March, April, when the azaleas bloom, so do the real estate signs. More competition. We've been in an unusual market in the last year, and to get an edge on other homes on the market, make sure and talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that I am one of them. I've developed a highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in what you make and when. From the preparation before you go on the market to the presentation and keeping you informed every step of the way, it's rare that we cannot provide results. That's why people often say, when you want the job done, call Sheldon at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Write it down or call me now, memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need a crunchy bite to eat? Head to Moe's for nachos, crunch wraps, tacos, salads, and more. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest Crunch Time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Crunch time between the hedges.
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries, its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
Goodbye!
It's obviously Crunch Time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over. Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need a crunchy bite to eat? Head to Moe's for nachos, crunch wraps, tacos, salads, and more. Moe's.com, it's your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies. Well, Darian, what I learned today is that we are getting a rematch between Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. Are you? I was going to ask you, but I feel like I see
I was just about to
the excitement on your face. Are you excited for Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather to return to the rink against each other? Ring. I got
absolutely squared circle, baby. That's what we're going to call it, man. I've been around at least 4 decades on this earth, and I remember when Pacquiao and Mayweather were in their heyday. They never locked horns, so I'm ready for it.
I'm not.
You're not.
We already saw it once. I don't need to see it again. They're old.
It's like watching Tyson fight again. I
don't want to see that either.
Give it to me.
I'm tired of seeing YouTubers box. I'm tired of seeing old men box.
I'm tired of seeing the people I don't know, so I know them. Like that's it. I know them.
That's fair, I guess. But they are, if you are excited about it, September 19th in the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Oh, let's do it. All right, dude. What I learned today.
It's gonna be on Netflix. How about that?
Yeah, I know. I do know Netflix. What I learned today, and like I said, we just learned this just a moment ago myself. The Indiana Pacers shooting guard Tyrese Halliburton is not only recovering from an ACL, he's recovering from the painful disease, the shingles.
Wow.
He has been sent home per the team, away from teammates. So get well soon, buddy.
Just another one of those tanking things.
Just to keep him away?
Yeah, shingles. We knew he wasn't coming back.
Yeah, that's legit.
What I could have done without the news that came out over the weekend, Rondale Moore, the former Purdue wide receiver, is with the Vikings, died at the age of 25 Saturday night. It is suspected and has been reported that it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound in his garage. So just a really tragic, really sad situation out of the NFL. Another young player that is just gone way too soon, just on a human level. I mean, we talked about it earlier when you were asking us how old. I'm 25. I mean, just to imagine somebody having to go through that, really sad.
Yeah, okay, dude. I could have done without Scottie Pippen Jr. being fined for his deal. I mean, but I'm glad. Obviously, we're all glad he didn't get suspended. Could have been worse, but we could have done. Get that man his money back, and don't talk about his mom.
Could have been much worse. I think a fine was the good thing. Where are you beaming tonight?
Ooh, where am I beaming tonight? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Honestly,
beam to Houston, Kansas. It's going to be a great game.
Okay, take me there.
Number 2 versus number 8 should be a really fun matchup between these two teams. I don't even know if Houston's still number 2. I might have written
Beam me to FedEx Forum. That's what I do. I go watch the tank. What you call it? Tank off?
Tank off.
There it is. That's where I go.
Tank. One of these teams is going to try to tank the tank. But yes, excuse me. Number 5, Houston against number 14, Kansas tonight. Should be a lot of fun. Not a ton with college basketball. You got Louisville, North Carolina starting in just a couple minutes, but you mentioned the Grizzlies in action tonight against the Kings. You've also got Spurs and Pistons, Jazz and Rockets, both those games on Peacock. That's all the time we have. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
Everybody out there, Walker Taylor with Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Football season is upon us. Nothing better for your next tailgate party than a barbecue buffet spread provided by the Germantown or Collierville Commissary. Catering, self-serve or full, is a specialty of ours. No party too small, no party too large. You can check out our pricing and the items we feature at commissarybbq.com. Holidays will be upon us soon. At our Collierville location, we have a party room for 30 up to 100, perfect for family, business, or church functions. We also have a patio at the Collierville location, perfect in the fall for enjoying football and eating barbecue. Monday through Friday at the Collierville location, we also offer an all-you-can-eat buffet featuring barbecue pulled pork, ribs, fried chicken, and catfish.